and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, there we go. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 73, your weekly dose of PiGosaur Cup action. I'm, of course, your VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome. Bienvenidos one and all as we're here. We are back with our fresh series. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Storm Push, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss. It is a creator. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Teal Terran, the Teal Terran himself. It is Greenert. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our best of 3. Let's go. Let us go. I say that. There we go. Predictions are open. Is that probe moving slower through the waterway? Huh. I didn't know that was a feature. Interesting. I basically, are there slow zones here? Is that what that's, is there like a current pushing into the center, and then here there's a current pushing in as well? So like if you go through here you get sped up, and if you go through here you get slowed down? Okay. Let's go. I mean, I guess depending on the direction that you're moving in. Huh. I did not notice that about this map. You have my attention. Aye. As we are settling into our TVP again, our first fresh series. So again, yes, it speeds up. Look at that. Look at him go. You get depending on the direction down. Oh, we're slow. So technically, I believe because of this, a custom pathing for probe scouting and worker scouting across the map. I mean, scouting in general would be ideal. But yeah, I would imagine that the players haven't noticed, or at least creator hasn't noticed. That's cool. Okay, I dig it. This was not here last time. Again, this is an older TLMC map. We've of course discussed this to death when it comes to the third base location, the fourth base location, in the initial setup. But yeah, that's different. Okay, Storm Push. You have my attention. Behind this, we do have a 3x follow-up here, so it's going to be racks into CC on low ground, into a second and third rack, so 3x stim timing here from the side of Greenert, so he's going to be hyper-aggressive. Likewise, we have a creator backing him going for a robo opener. Ooh, did he scout, by the way? Creator, he's not fully aware of what's going on, but a robo opener typically leads into fast Colossus, and that is ideal against a heavy stim build. So we gamble a little bit here, we roll the dice, and I would say that Greenert is in a worse position as a result of that. Again, heavily reliant on pure marine into stim is going to struggle against the early Colossus, assuming that we go for the early bait. Reaper does go down to the main base. Check the vision here, Reaper did not scout the robo, so is still unaware as to the tech of choice. Well, Last is unaware, but Creator, likewise, so is he, and Creator does go for the robo opener, but doesn't go for the bait, does go for the Twilight Council instead. So Creator, interesting setup here. This might be robo into Twilight Council, into Temple Archives, into Early Storm. That's something that is in the back of my mind. Otherwise, we could see a dark Shrine and DTs and see some shenanigans. For the most part, though, I'm leaning more towards Fast Storm. Eyes are going to be on Creator, as Green is still building up. Observer does come in for a full scout and does see everything, by the way. Does confirm all 3 axes and the early stim as well. So Creator is fully aware as to what's going on. At the same time is going for his own counter play and counter drop. We have Blink on the way, not early Storm. So it's going to be delayed Blink and early Immortal production at a Creator. Again, because of the early robo, he does have Immortals much earlier than usual and can be even safer as a result. Shield batteries are on the way. Creator's getting ready. And as Creator moves out, Creator moves in. And all the pathing out of Greener, he knows. Yeah, he goes through the speed zone and then rotates around. Yeah, it does avoid the tide. No, never mind. Look at him go. Oh god, the current is so strong. They're almost there. You can do it. He makes it. It's so late. God damn it. But again, if you want to be efficient here, you have to bob and weave in and out to get across the map faster, I would imagine. I mean, we have to time it, right? It's like my assumption is that it would be faster to weave out and then weave back in. This is my assumption. So prison's going to be deflected. There's a scan, already revealing 2 immortals. It's hard to swim in that armor. It is, it is. Stay out of the water, Pappy. Stay out of the water. Creator can claim his 3rd. He has plenty to work with here as well. Again, this was meant to be sim timing, but because the early immortal production, Creator's fine. Creator's perfectly fine. He can just earn this away. Ideally, he can force a stim. Oof. Bold link. There's the sim. Yeah, it does force the engagement here, and again, Marauder did get sniped, to get picked off. Down to a handful of units, a handful of Marauders. Down to 0 Marauders, actually. And Greener, he tries to trade as best he can. Behind this, he does have a secondary army, pure Marine, spotted by the Observer. Creator's aware. Oh. Creator getting cooldowns. Gonna be forced to recall. He's gonna say, never mind. Jesus. You just take the fight instead. We'll lose 1 more in the process. So a bit of a trade here, but still a better trade for Creator. Picking up this army. Mass Marine, Mass Marauders. Oh, there's some rough losses here for Green Arts. Behind this is getting a 3rd CC, is building up in towards the mid game, but Creator has momentum. He's moving out. He's got Colossus on the way, +1. Blink is done, of course. He's got his War Prison to counterattack. It looks like their legs are sinking into the sand. Almost blinking, Pappy, blinking. There we go. God damn it. It's a really strong current here. Well, like, what's going on? How powerful are the Sewer Ducks, like on this platform? Jesus. I want to see Zerglings trying to go through that. Just the visual. Let me see. As Greener he attempts to break out, will be able to, for the most part, it does force back the Stalkers. At the same time, drop into the mineral line. More SCV is going to be going down, getting 11, 12 SCV kills. Queens, true. When did ZVP like Queen walk across the map? Ah, no. Not like this. But again, that's a powerful sewer system right there. Okay, zoom in. Oh, okay. I mean, the pathing here is on the right hand side. As the 3 Colossus have arrived. And again, this is just a Death Lord army here for Creator. GG gets called, and Creator, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does take a lead in the series. Again, it was just a really rough start for Greener. It's winding it back a little bit here. Greener did go for a more aggressive build. He went for a 3x stim timing. Unfortunately, Creator went for a very safe build, going for an early robo, and was able to scout. Once he scouted, decided immortal production. There were already 2 immortals by the time the stim timing got across the map. And again, we saw that Creator, he was more than ready for it. So again, when it came to the openers, Greener kind of like, you know, it all kind of fell by the wayside. It's just a really rough early game there for Greenert, and he was unable to really recover from said early game. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be on another one of these newer maps on Washouts. Sorry, we kind of just jumped into the cast. Didn't get to really explain too much here. But when it comes to this event, the PiGosaur Cup, I believe, is featuring some new TLMC maps. As you just saw, we have a Storm, we had Storm Surge, and here we have Washout as well. We don't have too many, but I believe we have 4. Yeah, it's going to be, sorry, I said Storm Surge. Storm Push, Dreams and Scars, Lumen, and Washout. So we have 4 maps, 4 TLMC, 4 upcoming TLMC maps have been added to said map pool. Have been added. They replaced White Rabbits. They replaced 10,000 Feet. They also replaced, off memory, can I do this? 10,000 Feet, White Rabbits, Ruby Rock is there, Mothership is there, Old Republic. Oh, okay, they removed Old Republic. Interesting. And Celestial Enclave. Okay. We got it. As spawning into the right corner of Washout, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is a Creator. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Canadian Terran player. We have the Teal Terran for PiGosaur. Down in the series, it is a Green Earth. Here we go. We have our TVP. Welcome to another one of these upcoming TLMC maps. It is going to be Washout. Washout does have maybe not as fun of a feature, but does have its own unique features as well. If you recall, we have some gold hybrid bases all over the place. We have gold bases here, gold bases here, gold bases here as well. Also on the top side, I say gold bases are hybrid expansions. But the big downside of these bases is that you can actually delete and destroy those patches by knocking down these towers. Basically, every pair of gold patches comes with its own tower that can be attacked and destroyed. So you can see here we have our towers that can be knocked over. Likewise here, tower gets knocked over. Here, tower gets knocked over. Top side and top left as well. So basically, the opposing player can destroy those towers. The towers fall over and they destroy the gold patches specifically. I want to say last time someone asked if a worker that was actively mining those patches would also die from the impact. I do not know the answer to that question. Not too certain whether they die or not, but that's also potentially another factor as well. But we have yet to see any of these bases taken, right? Because these bases are fringe expansions, we wouldn't expect them to be taken until, like, you know, a 5th expansion, a 6th expansion, in towards a later game state. And we have yet to really experience, you know, any kind of late game on a map like Washout. So we have yet to really embrace that kind of play. And I don't expect to here, I'll be honest. As Creator, he does scout here for proxies, making sure everything's on the up and up. He did scout across the map. He did confirm the initial gas, the racks. We can see, oh, it's going to be a faster factory. Delayed CC, both of 1 gas? Okay. Interesting builds. With this Green Earth, he'll have an earlier Cyclone, earlier than usual, and this should be catching Creator off guard. As often you would not go for a factory this quickly without a second gas geyser. Okay. Screener tells me that. Likewise, Creator setting up his own Dark Shrine in the main. And also Twilight Council into DTs. No early blink, not yet. Cyclone pokes out. I was sure I was hoping to catch any kind of stray units here, but it's going to be zoned away by the 3 Stalkers. So Creator, he does hold his own. And so far, no scouting into the main. Now, when it comes to TVP, yes, you have scans. Like, scans are always a factor, and they're almost always going to be available to you. So there's an answer to said Dark Templar. And let's Mule. Oh, nice catch. Gets one. Gets one. We'll get the other result. Oh, there's a scan. Does get the second Stalker. Remember, there's no blink. Yeah, there's no blink, and we do see Creator, he's in trouble. Creator moving out early on. Remember, we spoke about it, but the Cyclones are earlier than usual. We'll force the boys to be pulled. Shout out to the battery. Marines are running out. Cyclones are exposed. And Creator, he's going to break out. Creator, he wants those Cyclones. He wants them. Oh my god. And Cyclones do get away. But again, this is going to cost Creator 10 SCVs. It's a lot of damage being dealt. At the same time, we have a proxy pylon across the map for those Dark Templar. Creator, he commits up the ramp. Kites well, takes out one of the Cyclones. Very nice control. Does get a second Cyclone. Back at home, what do we have? We have currently no energy per scan. But we're about to have some. Here come the Dark Templar. And do we mule or do we scan? He's got the energy. Up! No, he mules! Oh no, the double mule just as the DTs move in. 0 scans back at home. No starport either. Oh, that's so unlucky. Yeah, he has to pull the boys. He has to pull the boys. He just muled just in that moment, and now he's all in. He's one base, sorry, he's just completely 2 base all in. Has to send all the boys across the map. 0 scan. Stim is halfway done. No, there's another DT going for the tank. There's no scans, Pappy. He can repair though. True. Yeah, so because they kite back, they kite away. There's soon to be a nah, we're still a ways away for a scan. Still a ways away. 45. Tank is being targeted down. Ooh, nice round on the Stalkers. No, but the DT. Ooh, massive swipe. Scan is now available. There's 1 scan here. There's 2 scans actually. Does get 1. Oh, the tank gets surrounded. Does get 1 of the Dark Templar. Tank does fall. This should be 1 more scan in the main, but oh, never mind. Yeah, never mind. No more scans. And with that, Creator, he will claim this game here. There's just no answers to Dark Templar. And GG gets called. Creator, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Creator. He will claim the series. Again, just really unfortunate. We were looking at the energy there, and Greenert, he muled just as the DTs were walking in, so the only thing he could do was pull the boys. That was the only thing he could do. He could not defend back at home. There was 0 detection. There was no starport, no potential for like a Raven, so he couldn't like try to prioritize a Raven or anything like that. So there was nothing he could do. He was forced into the all-in, and there were even defensive DTs as well. GG. GG, well played. It happens, Pappy, it happens. The macro was too good. Just too good macro. As soon as he had the energy, bam, he muled. Too good. GG. But with that, congratulations, and let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out where we are headed, and how much downtime we have as well. Let us switch our scenes over, bam, and catch up on the brackets. Okay, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. From the top, we have Clem. Clem is waiting for the winner of Perceive and Prome in said PvP/PvT matchup. I know Perceive does alternate between Terran and Protoss. Scrolling down, we have Macro Monster up against Aeronautic. They're facing off in the round 16 as well. We have Kira versus Hupsaya, and of course, we just wrapped up our series, Creator versus Greener. So right now, we're waiting for the winner of Kira and Hupsaya to face off against Creator in the next round. Higher chance it's going to be Cure for that one. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Hero. Here's up against Teardrop in the quarterfinals. We have Shameless versus Matrix. High chance is going to be Hero versus Shameless. PvP in the quarterfinals. Scrolling down, we have Bjorn versus Patches. We have Percival versus Ryojin. Ooh, TVZ, spicy matchup. But higher chance is going to be Bjorn versus Percival once again in that TVT. They play so often. And again, Percival did defeat Bjorn during last week's Sparkling Tunic Cup. So we'll see if we can do it again. We shall see. So best of luck here. A lot of mirror matchups, potential TVT, potential PvP. Up here, potential, I mean, Clem is the heavy favorite to go far here. That's why we jumped onto the Greenert series. There was a walkover early on. We were going to be casting Greenert versus Defiance, but there was a walkover that led into Greenert versus Creator, and now we're waiting for for Cure, Hupsaya, and Creator to become available in the quarterfinals. Just for a little bit of diversity. We could have jumped into like other portions of the bracket, but again, PvP here, TVT here. Wanted at least, you know, a Terran versus Protoss. So I fixated on this portion of the bracket instead. After that, we might hop around a little bit, just because the upper portion of the bracket is looking a little bit slower. It's looking a little bit more delayed. And we are a little bit ahead in regards to this, to the bracket itself. A little bit ahead. But otherwise, we have some downtime. Just catching up in the bracket. Okay. But yeah, so for the time being, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have, again, the winner of Cure, Hapsaya, and Creator. So we'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 73. Do apologize for the delayed start for the extended break, but I hope you enjoyed the brutal OSC nonetheless, and we finally have our players ready. Let's go. It's going to be a TVP here between Cure and Creator. They're facing off. Game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. There we go. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as you delve into our TVP. Coming into this matchup, it is going to be a more difficult one to call. I would lean towards Cure here when it comes to our favorite player. Creator has been having a little bit less success as of late, but at the same time, he was looking very impressive during the GSL CK. During that GSL Team League format, we saw him pop up against Bunny. I was very, very impressed by Creator's play and by his comeback as well. He has his own unique style. He's typically a little bit more mid-game oriented compared to some of the other players. He's typically less aggressive and less assertive, and we'll see how that kind of style does compare to Cure. For now, double gas opener. Cure is going for a much more tech-heavy start. Interesting. Going for a faster factory, going for a delayed command center. Okay. Secure going for a more tech-heavy start. Meanwhile, Creator back at home, just chilling, settling in, looking to expand and scout across the map. In. Also, before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Este Smile, Este Fuego, Babiga, El Llama himself. But thank you so much, Smile, for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I'm not too sure what the stream was about, but I hope you had a great time nonetheless. Actually, you know what? Let's just look in, Pappy. What was going on? No, he was laddering. Okay, let's go. Esther Smile was actually laddering. It's great to hear. It's great to see. Great to see. But yes, welcome one and all to PiGosaur Cup. This is a weekly open tournament. Every single week we do have a PiGosaur Cup available here, and we have a mixture of Koreans, Europeans, and Americans competing on a regular basis. As initial Reaper does move out across the map, we'll be poking in, and behind this we do have, I was curious if it was going to be earlier Hellion production, committed Hellion Reaper, or Cyclone play, or this can still lead into a fast Banshee play, but for now it's going to be a Widowmine drop. As Reaper does poke into the main, does pull away. Doesn't want to get caught out. So far, Cure is yet to get into the main base. Is still not fully aware it's the deck of choice. It is not uncommon for Creator to mix in Robo-based play, as we saw previously. So again, it's going to be on Cure to confirm. Is it a Robo, Twilight Council, or Stargate? The initial deck of choice here, Creator has options, and Cure has yet to confirm. As Cure is going to be zoned away. Behind this, we can see a Twilight Council into Blink, a standard opener out of Creator. Playing standard, getting a safety battery as well. Creator, of course, did confirm the double gas mining. And how many mines? Only 2. Okay, 2 of the mines here from Cure. Going for the add-on sub after the initial medevac. From here, can go into Banshee or just Raven. Cure has options. As Reaper does dive in, does get past. Yeah, Reaper does go for the dive, does confirm the Twilight Council and Blink. Does see the research, a good scout here by Cure. Yeah, solid scouts behind this. It's going to be that Raven follow-up. Not Banshee. Not too committed. And it's up to Creator to keep up with the drop play. To keep up with the medevac drops and also the auto turret harass as well. As medevac does boost in. Spotted by the pylon. So Creator, he does race back home to defend. Getting in position, warps in, and will deflect. We came in, never mind. Kimmit's further in. Medevac taking a lot of hits. Widowmine's able to zone away. Oh, Jesus. You're catching out 2 probes, but only 2 workers here. As Widowmines, they cannot get away. So far, decent defense here by Creator. Decent defense. Shuts down the drop, zones away the medevac. Behind this, going for the bay. Interesting. I believe this is off of 3 gates. So 3 gates, Robo, Blink into a bay. Delayed. Very, very late third base here for Creator. I say very late, very delayed expansion in favor of earlier Colossus. Once again, a bit of a safer start at a Creator. Does sacrifice his economy for this. Meanwhile, Cure likewise still building up on 2 bases himself. Observer does confirm stim, also confirms lack of tank production. As he gets eyes on the add-on swap. Likewise, Creator, he does see the main army. He does see there's no main move outs. Behind this, going for double forge as well before expansion. Again, a very late third here. It does mean in the short term, he's going to be a little bit more exposed. In the long run, I mean, this will allow him to get into better upgrades. But again, the economy is going to be stifled. Cure does push. Creator getting ready. Auto Heart does distract. But Creator spots the main army. Cure notices. Not quite. Doesn't quite notice the shimmer. Creator waiting for Noah to move. He's lying in wait. There's the on siege. Ooh, sorts the observer. Stalkers, they get 1 marine. They get 2. They force the stim. Ooh, last blink was a little bit too late there, losing 1 stalker. Colossus, they advance forward. So far, better engage here for Creator, getting on top of the tanks. Can he get them? Ooh, he cannot. No, he's fighting with the range of the tanks. Colossus goes down. Massive pickup. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Creator here overextended. And Curious rallying. Oh my god. Barely saves the tank. Once again, punishing their stalkers. Nice moves out of Cure. This is now 1 Colossus for Creator. Security does pull away. And with that, Creator is going to have a bit of a weaker army here. I mean, did lose a Colossus earlier. Does have 1-1 kicking in at least. And once again, he does spot the move out. And we'll see if we can hold on. Now, behind this, Cure is not all in. Cure is getting expansion. Third TC is on the way. He's building up into a longer game. Bam, there's the Academy. So he backs off. He backs off. We're going to strap yourselves in. Just lock in, baby. We're going to be here for a while. As Cure is not being hyper aggressive. We're going into a bit of a slower mid game. Getting a second Academy. Hopefully he does notice in time to cancel. But Curie's going to back off. He's going to build up. Likewise, Creator is doing the same. Now, I will say that Cure does have the currently better economy, as he's going to be establishing his third base and main nodding over. But because Cure is turtling up, we should be seeing Creator take advantage of that and double expand. Right, get a 4th base, get a 5th base as well, start to gain map control, build up that bank, work towards Storm, and max out. And Creator now confirms. This Creator's building up his army. There is a 2-2 timing available here for Creator, true. It's not going to be easy. Does poke in, pulls away, does see the heavy Ghost count, the heavy Viking count as well. Again, this is a very robust army for Cure. Very robust. And remember, Creator's army is lacking just because of his late third and now late fourth. That's why that I was hoping we would see a double expand. Creator, he has to catch up, as Creator is still behind economically. That's now working on 3-3. 3 upgrades. There's the gateway explosion. Oh. And Curious first to max out. Did mention that again, Curious had that stronger economy for the majority of this game. Now leads and translates into a larger army, very high quality army as well. He has to make a choice here, and I mean, I would hope that he does become active with this army, but otherwise it's just stay defensive. Just stay defensive, throw down sensor towers, missile turrets, bunkers, planetary CCs, and perfect the army. By perfect the army, what are we missing? Liberators, right? Liberation zones are missing currently, as we have, you could argue, just too high of a marine count. So Curie, he's staying back at home. Here comes Creator, catching up in supply. I would say there is an opening. Remember, he does have those upgrades. 3-3 is almost done. So Creator is hitting that early 3-3 timing. The only smash damage is Colossus. And the Archons, now this does move in. Nice armor missile. It does shred the armor. First Colossus goes down. Archons trying to move in. Massive EMPs on the Archons. Oh my god, yeah, the EMPs are brutal. And with that, Creator has to get the hell out of here. A strong fight in favor of Cure. The upgrades, they mean nothing here. Back. Going for the Colossus. Prism goes down. And should get both. Yeah, should get both Colossus. As it's barely a Protoss army standing. One more Viking volley. Final Colossus goes down. Nice EMP. It does cost Cure 16 SCVs. They lose a lot of workers here in the defense, but he's still in a good position. His economy is still looking good. Again, I understand the Creator wanted to hit his 3-3 timing, but the reality is, in the greater context of this game, like Cure, he had the stronger army, he had the stronger composition, he had the concave as well, he had the EMPs, and that was everything for Creator. That was everything then and there. Now he has to start from scratch. Second robo. This second robo tells us that Creator didn't really plan for the game to last this long, right? Otherwise, we would have seen a second or third robo to be able to rebuild and reproduce and sustain this kind of army. So Creator's in the rough position. It means that his remax is late. It's going to be a delayed remax here from Creator. I would say that there is a window in time where Cure can counterattack, but as I mentioned before, Cure is missing Liberators, and there it is. Fusion Core is on the way. That's for advanced ballistics. That is for Liberator range. So it looks like Cure, he has, it looks like he just wants to chill back at home and defend. Thankfully, he's posturing in the center, though, and let's find the Stalkers. He can definitely threaten the center expansion, and he will. Okay, nice EMP on the Zealots. And nice EMPs. Catching out the Colossus. The Archon as well. And again, we should be soon moving towards said Liberators. I think there's only 2 starports. Yeah, only 2. Only 2 so far. Creator who rotates over. It's a very zealot heavy composition. Very zealot heavy. It's a very cheap army. So far the EMPs have been solid. We do have a disruptor in the mix though. We got 1 Nova. Oh. And you see Creator trying to bait at the Nova. Sorry, Cure trying to bait at the Nova. Nova goes off, no major connection. SCVs are going down. It's a lot of economic damage. It's a lot of SCV kills. Massive EMPs here on the Archons. Oh my god, the Nova! Yeah, Nova goes off. Despite that, we just tanked the Nova. Yeah, Curie tanks the Nova, breaks one through anyway. He did take the Nova to the face. But he just takes it. And Curie, once again, he dominates that fight. He can once again counterattack. He should be able to this time. Reinforcing with Liberators. Curie taking top right.
Upgrade.
Creator even. He rotates over towards the center bases in the map. I do think that Kira could just keep pushing right down the middle and go for the kill, but instead he's playing it safe. Just playing very, very safe. Take down the Nexus. Take down the expansion. Should check top right as well.
Add-on complete.
And will. Yep, nice EMP, making sure there's no recall. Liberation has arrived. Oh, Creator, he commits into liberation zones. Yeah, he commits in. Once again, rough trades to the Protoss. Novas, they go off with that. Decent connections here on the Marauders. Decent connections. But Curie saw so much more across the map as well. Nice, heading back to the bunker. Hides back to the bunker. Counterattacks. Once again, nice EMPs, ensuring there's no recall. Going for another expansion, a base that Creator cannot afford to lose. And Creator, he's running out of steam, he's running out of money. What you see is what you get. It's a very high quality army, but there's just not enough there. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Curie takes the lead in the series. Again, winding it back here, we had Creator opting to go for a delayed economy. Remember, he did prioritize his Bay and his Double Forge instead of the 3rd expansion. And Creator, he was behind economically the entire game, always playing catch up. He did have some strong upgrades, that's true, but the reality is, if you remember, Cure was the first to max. Cure, he was the first to max out, he was the first to build up, and he was looking very comfortable defensively back at home. He built up into a really early ghost count. I should have maybe emphasized that a little bit more, but it was an early academy into early ghost production to ensure he had that higher quality army as quickly as possible and was more than ready for Creator by the time he moved out across the map. Cure, he was more than ready. He had all the EMPs, he had the armor shred as well, he had the concave, he had a maxed army, max supply. And with that Cure, he was able to take that fight and just snowball from there. Once that fight went awry for Creator, that was kind of game then and there. Like he could never really build up a comparable army again. That was his moment. And now we're loading into game number 2. Gonna be on Taito Citadel. Oh boy. We'll be on Taito. Load into that 3rd game. I barely got any sleep last night, actually. No. We're hanging in there. Just airing out the room. Spawning in the top hand corner of Taito Citadel, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Oh, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran. We have the red Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. Jumping to game 2 here, we'll see if Creator is going to play very tech heavy and very 2-base heavy again, or if he does go for a faster expansion. We are loading into Taito, and Taito Sigil can be quite difficult to be defensive on, just because the bases are so spread out and the map is so large as well. It can be quite awkward and quite difficult kind of rotating defensively between these these 4 locations. We'll see if Creator can pull this off. We'll see. So I just had to make sure everything was okay. Oh, there we go. We can lock in. We can lock in. This time we have an economic start. Okay, economic start at Akira going for a Rax expand. Remember last game he went for a double gas opener, and that led into a Widowmine drop into Raven follow-up. This time we're playing more standard. There's opening up. Twilight Council opener out of Creator. And again, should be Twilight Council into Blink. Once again, we'll keep an eye on the early tech. We'll see if he stays on 2 bases a little bit longer here this time from the side of Creator. I think it'd be a little bit more understandable here on a map like Taito Citadel. We have seen a lot of really powerful 2-base all-ins on this map. That's something that's going to be in the back of my mind, that I'm sure in the mind of Creator as well. Again, just because it can be quite difficult to be defensive. We spoke earlier, but again, this 3rd base location, the 4th base location, it's just very spread out. The distance between the bases is very long, so trying to rotate and keep up with army movement, it's a challenge for sure. So now Creator here opens up Hellion into Reacted Widowmine. That does the past. It passed. Meanwhile, 2 more gateways in the robo. Again, very 2-base heavy setup here from Creator, being very safe. He fully walls off as well. I mean, hey, he spots all the Hellions. As it's going to be a quad mine drop, but much more committed this time by Akira. We're going to go with 4 Widow Mines. He's got his 2 Hellions as well. Creator, he should be secure. He has everything here at the natural at least. Makes his way into the main. Does boost in. Stalker's in position. And yeah, we do reveal all 4 Widow Mines. Denying mining time at least. It's going to be 3 probe kills. And can we save them? Widow Mines! No, we can't! Yeah, he cannot save them. Massive pick of medevac goes down. All 4 Widow Mines as well. 4 mines and a medevac for only 4 probes. I guess 5 workers here. Not the best trades. I would say a little bit better for Creator. Just because the medevac also went down. And the big commitment as well. It's nice defense. This time, faster 3rd. I appreciate it. Remember, last game, it was a 3rd expansion after the Bay and after Double Forge. Like, it was a much delayed 3rd in game 1. This time, a lot earlier. A little more standard. Aiming his 3rd. Getting into the mid game. Hellion does scout the 3rd base timing. Cure knows. He's aware. Cure should be feeling safe building up into this. As Creator moves out with his own counterattack. Full Stalkers, they can threaten the SCVs. Gets 1 worker, diving on the tank. Tank is going to go down. Ooh, for the price of 2 Stalkers. The worst trade for Creator, but not ideal. Creator does have to pull away. Pulls away. Likewise, Cure is setting up defensively here with his own setup. Oh, we have our tanks, our marines, we have Stim on the way, +1, third CC as well. We're just playing standard. No 2-base all in. True. No 2-base all in. Just hyper secure here. Looks like Cure he was setting up for a 4-gate blink aggression, so even getting a second bunker on the low ground just in case. So very safe play here. And now we're taking. Bait for Creator for Colossus production. We should be seeing our forges soon. Eventually forges, eventually upgrades. So players are being active on the map. There's the first salvage. Prism is zoned away. Creator going for the gold. Again, he's going to be spread quite thin here, and he needs spotter units here to get eyes on any kind of move outs. But hey, if he can saturate that gold base, Creator can take a lead. As Cure moves out. Cure here to head control the Zelnaga tower. Checking Creator's vision. Creator, he sees nothing here on the right-hand side. So Creator, he does not see the main army. Nice out run by. And Creator, he turns back home. Like Cure meant to say. He turns around, he races back home to defend. Nice run by the Creator. Delaying any kind of push. Spots the positioning of the main army as well. Ooh, getting 9 SCVs at the natural. Ay, ay, ay. This is getting out of hand. I mean, it goes both ways. You remember we spoke coming into this game how specifically on this map the bases are spread thin. It's difficult to defend. I mean, hey, you saw that here from Cure. Having a hard time keeping up. He's going to be building his forces, rotating towards left-hand side, gets spotted here by Creator. Creator tries to respond. He's racing over. Tanks a siege up on the high ground. And Creator, can he break through? He does get a tank. And it takes down one. Cure out of position. One tank goes down, but the base does fall. Better trade here for Cure. Better trade for Cure. And honestly, he can just keep pushing. He can just keep pushing. The army for Creator is still lacking. It's still building up. Auto charge into the main. Fury wants that Colossus. Oh my god, almost gets it. Gas Ether. Oh, my stars catch him out. And we're calming down. Honestly, yes, I feel like Cure can keep pushing, but at the same time, there's no need, right? There's no fourth base. The fourth base is heavily delayed here for Creator, and Cure is ahead. Cure, he has the stronger economy. He's on 3 bases himself, 67 workers plus mules. That's why Cure is maxing out. And Creator just had a very hard time getting into the mid game here. Just a non-existent fourth. Doesn't have a fourth base. Creator is slowly getting his own cannons, shield batteries, working on that 4th Nexus. We'll see if Cure pushes when he's maxed. We spoke about this in the last game, but Cure he instead waited for Creator to come to him and allowed Creator to max out. I'm hoping that Cure takes a more aggressive stance here, but so far staying at home. Creator, he's behind, so he's double expanding. Makes sense. Cure, he may decide to wait for 2-2, which will allow Creator to max out. How many kills does Raven have? Not too many. 9 kills. 9 kills. But I mean, it's doing nice damage over time, right? And it's always distracting Creator. Distracting. Creator is pushing. He does have Storm. So this time he has Storm with the army. 4 Eye Templar, at least 4 Storms. Soon to be available. Cells on the left. May now be pushing in. EMP does zone. So there's a Storm. Snipe, nice EMP. So what? 3 more High Templar. Okay, lands, snipes 1 High Templar. Okay. We got 2 left. 3 Templar, but 2 Storms. Oh, that Templar gets EMP'd. Down to 1 Storm. He's gathering more energy. Gathering more energy. Perry does move in. A nice Storm with the Vikings. As 1 Colossus goes down. Down to 3. The boys are being pulled. And Curry commits. Yeah, he does commit another Storm with the Vikings. Oof. Yeah, Vikings, they sustain a lot of damage. Even here, the Bio Army does rush through the storms. Very softened up. But does still dominate the skies. Dominates the skies. Takes down the prison. Takes down 3 Colossi. 1 Colossus barely survived. And Kira did take the fight. Take it as Salika's wounds. Liberation production has begun. He's getting to his liberation. The freedom pack. Do you have 4 more High Templar coming in? The army's getting cornered. Nice Storm. Now we have a better Storm. Curious getting caught out. Does take down the Colossus, but he's running into Vikings. It's fine though. He's running out of Vikings at the same time. Creator's just running out of army. There's not as much left over. It's also the Zealots. Here he has to respect it. Pulls away. Pulls away, brings everything back together. Massive Mule Hammer here on the 5th expansion. And for the next fight, Kira's going to have 3-3. 3-3 is going to be done. Advanced Ballistics. He'll have, how many? I want to say 6. So it's going to be 7. 7 Liberators. A much stronger force. And the Liberation has arrived. Just forcing him to blink in. Crazy blink. Oh my god. Yeah, it does EP everything. We get a decent Nova. But Liberators, they just go to town here on the ground army. Colossus are exposed. Gets 1, gets 2. There's 1 Colossus left. Bio Army stims in. And Cure is on it. Cure, he has broken Creator. GG gets called. And Cure, he will claim the series 2-0. Advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. A strong showing here by Cure. Honestly, there was no real moment here in the series where he was in any real danger. Like, Cure was looking very dominant, very strong. It was just really rough starts. I should emphasize that as well. Winding it back a little bit here, if you recall, Cure, he was able to knock down the 4th base pretty early on. The 4th base, the gold, never really got up and running, and with the death of that 4th, I mean, Creator, he just fell behind economically, he fell behind in the supply. He just could not keep up. That's why he double expanded, and it was given some time to max out, but the quality of the army just was not quite there, not compared to Cure. So again, a very shaky start for Creator to lose that 4th expansion, and to be unable to keep up with the movement of his opponents. He tried to, but it's very difficult, very, very difficult, specifically on Taito Citadel, because the bases are so isolated from each other without having any forewarning. Then you'll be losing expansions. You'll be losing bases, losing expansions, and Creator did lose his 4th. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. So let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. Let's go. Ooh, as we already have the upper semis. Okay. We have the upper semifinals. It's going to be best of 5. Best of 5 between Clem and Cure. Let's go. Semifinals. As Clem takes down Aeronautic 2-0, so we have Clem versus Cure in the upper semifinals. Once again, that's going to be a best of 5 TVP. Terran versus Protoss. Do we have any other updates here? We do. Oh, okay, lower semis. Percival, he does it again. Like, like he's beaten Beyond like 5 different times, like in the past like month. It's crazy. But Percival, if you missed it, he did beat Beyond last week in Sparkling Tunic Cup. Now he beats him here in PiGosaur Cup as well. So back-to-back tournaments. Percival takes on Beyond 2-1. Hero takes on Shameless. We have Hero versus Percival in the likewise lower portion of the semifinals, lower semis. So we have our semifinals ready. They're both going to be best of 5s, and again we are focusing on Clem and Cure. Until then, we're going to be going on a short break, and we have 2 series left. So we have the upper semis and the grand finals. Again, both semis will be happening at the same time. So we'll see you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the semifinals here of PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 73. Again, your weekly dose of PiGosaur action. We've made it here to the semifinals, and we have something special for you, of course, for this event. This is what makes this a little bit different compared to the other Open Cups, is that we have best of 5 semifinals. Best of 5s, not best of 3s. So a longer series, a longer back and forth. More games, better for us. Let's go. We're greedy like that, but we're greedy. But here we go. We have both semifinals happening concurrently at the same time, and spawning in the left-hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the French Terran player. We have the red Terran. Sorry, typically he's French Terran. He's here the French Protoss player. The red Protoss for Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the blue Terran going for the eBay block. We have the South Korean Terran also for Team Liquid, as this is a team kill. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. As eBay block is thrown down, Clem's opener is going to be disrupted. Okay, winding it back here, if you're maybe watching for the first time or don't really watch much Clem, he has not played a TVT or Terran vs Terran in over a year. It's been almost 2 years actually, but it's been quite some time since he has dabbled in TVT. His Protoss is stronger than his Terran for that specific matchup, so he always does play Protoss against Terran instead of Terran against Terran. Has been the case for quite some time at this point. Quite some time. As there it is, the unnatural natural. Again, due to this eBay block and due to the fact that Clem didn't scout ahead of time on the low ground, it means that Clem is forced to expand at what we say is the unnatural natural. Forced to expand at the 3rd location. In doing so, this does mean that Clem is going to be more exposed and more vulnerable to aggressive builds. And we can see here, it's going to be a factory before command center. Cure could have cancelled earlier and gone for a faster CC. He's chosen not to. With this early opener, you can see the reactor. It can lead into an add-on swap into reactored Hellion, and then you'll have early Hellion production to threaten either this base or the northern main base. The difficult thing about defending here is that Clem, he has to invest into units in both locations, and it's very difficult to rotate back and forth defensively between this 3rd and the main. So it's going to be a very awkward start. Meanwhile, there it is, reactored Hellion production from Cure, and we'll see what Cure can get done. And you can already argue that the damage has already been dealt, right? Clem, he already has to invest into a shield battery. He has to invest into extra units, extra buildings, extra defense to be safe. Yeah, as Cure, he's trying to trade with the initial Stalker. Interesting. Stalker taking a little hits. Nice control out of Cure. He does pull it, but the second Stalker. And with that second Stalker, Clem, he can just keep on pushing. Cure, he has to pull back. The boys are being pulled to repair. And Clem will delay the CC. Very nice. Delays the command center. CC is being rebuilt. First Stalker goes down. And Clem pulls away. But honestly, this is a really good way to defend, right? It's like, what's the best defense? A good offense. Because Clem was in the face of Cure, these Hellions never got across the map. And for Hellions, they one-shot probes. And we even have more Hellions on the way. Like Cure, he wants to be active, he wants to be aggressive, but he was forced to defend instead. So his aggression has been heavily delayed. But now it's go time. And again, it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a mineral line or to one-shot a probe. We have 5 moving out. Clem should be getting in position. Spots the army. Ooh, Hellions, they go for the mineral line. So far they get 1, they get 2. Oh, nice movement here from the probes. They body block. Oh, no, but he gets in. Yeah, he gets in anyway. The boys are being pulled, and so far they're lining up. 7 probes go down. This could have been worse. Remember, this is 5 Hellions. Nice Sim City, though. Very nice Sim City here. It's a full wall. Hellions are trapped, and Clem defends. Yeah, Clem, he does defend in the end here. Again, nice Sim City kind of blocking off and catching all those Hellions. And with that, Clem has defended. Curie's not done, going for his own mind drop. Behind this, going for his tank production, his Ravens. He's building up back at home. Widowmine's into the main, and Clem does react. Oh, oh, he's snacking. Yeah, does sack the probes, and he will pull away in time. Very close. Yeah, clutch moves out of Clem. Clutch Clem. Does hold, does defend. And oh, brutal counterattack. Yeah, there's a counterattack. Back at home, Curie had nothing to defend. He was still working on his tank, still working on his Raven. GG, and Clem takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Clem, he survived the non-stop aggression, the Hellion dives, the Widowmine drops as well. Cure, he was trying to find damage, but he did not do enough. And again, because he was dealt with, it allowed Clem to counterattack. He got across the map, and back at home, Cure wasn't ready. Cure, he was not ready. Just because of how committed he was with the non-stop Hellion and Widowmine production. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem takes game number 1, and we'll see if he can take a further lead in this series. So a strong start here for Clem. I should also contextualize things a little bit here. But Clem, he's one of the best Protoss players in the world, 100%, unironically. Clem has been vocal about this, but the one thing stopping Clem from making the full switch into Protoss is PvP. He's not very fond of, and his weakest matchup is Protoss versus Protoss. So that's keeping him Terran, at least somewhat. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss player himself leading the series 1-0, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Cure. Cure, he has some of the best TVP in the world, top 3 if not top 2. He is up there, has beaten Clem before, even beat him last week. Can he do it again? See, can he do it again? So now, okay, already mixing it up here. Double gas to open out a Cure, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC. So Cure, he's been mixing it up quite a bit here. So if I remember in game 1, Cure went for the eBay block into the fast factory, into reacted Hellion. Here he can go into the faster factory, into faster starport, into Banshee play, into reacted Reaper Hellion. We'll keep an eye on Cure, we'll see where he takes us. Regardless, it will be tech heavy. It's on Clem to confirm. So far unable to. Let's see in chats. Is this best of 3 or best of 5? Oh, my apologies, best of 5. Best of 5. It should have said best of 5 in game 1, but accidentally did put the wrong score here in game 2. Best of 5. The predictions that were live earlier were for a best of 5 as well, so that was all correct. Oh, hello, as we're going for the early tech lab into add-ons, hop into potentially early cyclone production. You have my attention. Likewise, we do have the safety shield battery here out of Clem. Clem, he didn't get to see too much. No, he did see the factory itself. He saw the factory timing, he knows. As Reaver works in, nice control here by Clem, pulls away, saves the worker, saves the probe. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener into Blink, so everything's looking standard from Clem. It's looking normal. Oh, catching out the Reaper. Very nice catch. Unfortunately, due to the Reaper going down, Cure, he sees nothing. He does not confirm the tech. For all he knows, it could be a Robo, Stargate, or Twilight Council. But based on Clem's tendencies, we can assume it's going to be Blink. Like, Clem very rarely does go for Robo or Stargate play in TVP or in PvT. It is quite rare for Clem. Cyclone is spotted. Head up checks for the expansion. Clemmy sees the CC on the high ground, is aware it's going to be a delayed expansion, a delayed natural, but natural nonetheless. A crazy one-way soul in. Oh, nice catch at a Cure. Takes down both adepts. Oh, I spoke too soon. Jesus. Clemmy gets away on 3 HP, does barely get away, throws out extra gateways here, and I believe is going 3 gate to Blink Stalker. We have seen Clem embrace 4 gate in the past, but here just going after 3 gateways, Robo just to be safe into a bit of a later third expansion. Just safe play out of Clem. Just playing safe. So yeah, I personally believe Clem will be better off playing Terran in all matchups. That's nice to have that opinion. Someone just wants Clem to lose. True, true. I see, Pappy, I see. Clem claims his third. Building up. Oh. Doesn't quite catch the medevac, but does react in time, pulls away. Decent retargeting. I'm not too sure if I'm fond of the retargeting onto the adept instead of this. I mean, sure, Blink is done. True, true, true. Yeah, Blink is done. Clemmy does defend, likewise across the map, gets into the main. Keeping her on the back foot. Oh. It does keep him back. And we'll see how Cure breaks out. Behind this, we should be seeing a third CC momentarily. Once we build up the upgrades, then Cure can start to be active. For the time being, he's just stuck at home with his main army. It's on Clem to contain. It's on Clem to scout any kind of drop play. And any kind of move out. Speaking of, medevacs have arrived. Clemmy keeps up with the rotation. Leaving out one of the stalkers. It's on Clem to slow this down. Oh, doesn't quite get the Marauder. Yeah, nice save out of Cure. Likewise, very nice control out of Clem, saving all the stalkers. Setting up defensively. And Cure, he's committing. He's committing across the map. He's committing quite heavily here. Clem, he needs to slow this down. Does force the early siege. Ooh. We lose one stalker. Does lose one. Tank volley's going off. Cure, he has arrived. Yeah, this is getting out of hand here. Again, the tanks are within range to support. And Clemmy's gonna commit. He's gonna go for it. Oh, yeah, gets caught up by the Widow Mines. Zelta going down. A nice control here from Cure. He shuts down the Zealots. And can he get on top of the Stalkers? That's gonna be close. We'll lose one of his tanks, but we do not have a reinforcing tank arriving. But not enough gateway units. Yeah, not enough gateway units here. Cure, he breaks through that defensive line. And Cure, he's done it. He's broken Clem. As the boys are being pulled, Clem getting desperate. Yeah, very desperate here. But again, Clem, he was unable to slow this down. And likewise, tanks that go within range. I say that, we do have an extra warp in. It's not going to be enough. Yeah, it's not going to be good enough here. Yeah, the warp in is going to be dealt with, and Cure, he's breaking through. Yeah, breaking through the main army, getting onto the expansion. Solid control at a cure. Saves his marauders. You can see Clem is juggling his heart out with those immortals. Oh no, the juggling. Does save the immortals for as long as he can. Impressive, to be fair. But there's only so much he can do. Only so much. We have a third immortal coming in. This one is called out. No War Prism, not within range. And again, a very shaky hold here from Clem. He will get on top of the tank though. Okay. Takes down the tank. Bearing in mind there's no backup tank behind this. Prism goes down, limited control. I mean, Clem is making Q work quite hard for this. Jesus. Again, the control has been there. And with these Stalker Warpins, he's holding onto his base. Oh, he wants it. He wants the expansion. He wants an Nexus. Has Clem, he's holding on. He got a Warpin of Zealots, getting himself the Widow Mines, cleans this up, and a very impressive hold here. Again, Clem, he was broken. He was broken earlier. This base should have gone down. He had a really rough engagement to begin with when he rallied into the Widow Mines. Widow Mines, they got like the max amount of damage. And against max packs, against Hero, against any other player, Curie, he would have broken them then and there. But no, I just to Clem, he holds, he defends, he gains some momentum. Thankfully, Cure still has a stronger economy. But este Clem. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I mean, things are still looking dire. Like, Clem is still very, very, very committed. Zelrambe is attempted. Clem moves in. If he can get into the mineral line, then he can have, like, a comeback here. But he needs economic damage. Like, Curie's so far ahead here in the worker count. So it's been an impressive hold out of Clem, but he needs more than just holding. Zealous is setting it for a run by. Colossus are on the way. Building up the Colossi. And thankfully, Cure isn't being passive, right? He's not being passive. He's not staying back. It's important here that Cure does press his advantage, just to ensure that Clem doesn't recover. Oh, triggers the shields. That's EMP. As Cure, he barely gets one of the immortals. Colossus does arrive. I say that, but there's not much anti-air. The Vikings just go to town. Oh my god. And GG gets called. GG gets called. And Cure does overwhelm. Cure ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, Cure, his move out on 2 bases should have ended the game. That should have killed Clem then and there. And Clem, he had a really hard time slowing down the push and setting up back at home. As we mentioned, there was a really rough start to the engagement when Clem did a move in and his Zelta were all drawn into the Widow Mines, and the Widow Mines got like max amount of damage and wasted the charge as well. So it was a really, really rough engage there from Clem. Despite that, with his Prism Micro, he kept the Immortals alive. He juggled his heart out. He barely held onto his third base. Still was too far behind to recover in that game, but a very impressive hold there from Clem. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 3, and we'll see who takes the lead in the series. Bearing in mind, as we mentioned before, this is a best of 5. Both semifinals are. This has been the case for like a year of play at this point. Is one of the big distinctions between, or the big differences between this Open Cup and the others, is that best of 5 semis. But here we go, loading into Winter Madness. Meanwhile, big shout out to Neat Pete H in the chat. Hello everyone. Esther Neat Pete. Thank you so much for subscribing for 23 months, almost 2 years of support. Thank you, puppy. Thank you. Do appreciate it. And do appreciate it. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. We have the French Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player. We have blue Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran. For Team Liquid, it is a Cure. Here we go. Now, when it comes to what happened in the last game and that committed 2-base move out, those pushes do hit harder on smaller maps. That's typically why we favor Terran on maps like Tourmaline, on Ruby Rock, and on 10,000 feet, because these pushes do hit so hard and so quickly and so committed as well. But now we're loading into a larger map. It's typically on these larger maps where players, where Protoss players are a little bit more comfortable, referring to the Old Republic, Winter Madness, White Rabbit. White Rabbit is a little bit more iffy. It's a little bit more back and forth. But all these larger maps, like, there's a little more breathing room and you have more time to warp in, to defend, to spot a move out, to delay a push, and to secure your 3, 4, and 5 bases. So I would say the pressure is very much so on Cure. Pressure's on Cure this game to try to maintain that momentum in the series. eBay gets thrown down. We'll block the expansion. And this time we do see Clem pulling the boys, as Clem does not auto expand elsewhere here, not on Winter Madness. I don't know if you saw the movement of the SCV, but specifically on this map, if the eBay blocks is successful, then Clem will be forced to expand on the low ground. It'd be a very difficult defense for Clem, as we're going for the double block. The double block, Faffy. And again, it's worth it on this map. There's a double cancel. Q movement. No, Jesus, that was close. That was very close. Curie fails the third block. Gonna be forced back, and Clem will expand. So a nice cheeky start here by Cure. Very cheeky. The Winter Madness was a small map. Nah. This is one of the larger maps. A longer rush distance by ground. We have our natural 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th base. A lot of space. It's not as large as Mothership, and it's not as large as Celestial Enclave. That's true. Like, there are technically maps that do allow for longer play more often, but definitely on the larger end of things. I think Mothership is the largest map in the current map pool. I think Mothership does beat out Celestial, but Celestial's more defensive, so they have that back and forth. I wouldn't be surprised if both of those maps are vetoed, by the way, in this series. It's quite rare to see Celestial. Oh, nice round. Clem, calm down, papi. Calm down. Clem, he surrounds the Reaper. Just shut it down. Nice control. Behind this, going for the Twilight Council. Twilight Council into Blink. What about Ruby Rock? Ruby Rock feels bigger. Ruby Rock has a shorter rush distance. That is why we often see a lot of all-ins on Ruby Rock, and that's why we saw Cure excel when it came to his 2-base push last game. So Ruby Rock has, I think, the 2nd shortest rush distance. I know the shortest is 10,000 feet. That's the shortest. I want to say Tourmaline is the smallest map, and then like you have Ruby Rock. So when you think like aggressive builds, you think 10,000 feet, Ruby Rock, and Tourmaline. Bearing in mind, I'm specifically referring to rush distance. Ruby Rock is a little bit like vertically like longer, I suppose. Like there's more space like in said directions, but to get across the map, it doesn't take long. There we go. We do have our Mind Drop. Mind Drop moves out. Behind this, we have Cure setting up for his zone at 3-1-1. Clem is in position. So this is where I get back to a proxy 65% of games. It's quite rare to see that in pro play. I say quite rare. We did see it. I think we saw it once last week. Was it Shin? Shinny tried to proxy Hatchery in the back door. It did not work. And I think we saw, was it Maru? Oh, nice Mind Shot dragging into the mineral line. Ay. Chaotic defense there by Clem, losing 4 probes. A very nice start for Cure. That should not have happened. But it happens maybe like once a week or like once every couple of weeks. The problem at the pro level is that stuff like that is more common early in the map pool, but once the maps get figured out, then it's a little more common to scout there like preemptively, right? So that kind of play is less effective. Because if it gets scouted, it gets shut down. Like at least at this level of play. I think at lower levels on the ladder, like you can scout the proxy, but it can still work anyway. Like you, like you just gamba. You know, very nice control. Picking up another 6 Marines. Has to respect the tank. Oh, it does have to respect it. Stalker's getting very low. Overall decent PiGosaur, but it does take a lot of hull damage on those Stalkers. But yeah, every now and then we see proxies in the pocket base on Celestial. Every now and then. As Clem is still being active. Behind this building up into charge, into a heavy Zealot composition. 3rd CC's on the way for cure. If you notice, this is a faster 3rd CC compared to last game. Much, much faster. And less of a committed move out. So there's less of a chance of this really achieving too much damage, but I mean, it's still built to trade. And Clem does miss the move out. Oh, nah, spots a medevac. Never mind. Spots a medevacs. Getting in position and no battery. Here, waiting for a second tank. Second tank has arrived. Clem's gonna be careful. Oh, just spot the unsiege. Yeah, it does dive in. Warp Prism does completely the warp in as well. Yeah, more Zealots take a lot of stuff forward. The tank's gonna go down, and a much stronger fight here from Clem. Barely doesn't get the tank. He blinks in. Oh, bold move. Crazy move out of Clem, blinking into the army. That's what 1-2 Stalkers going down. And Clem's in trouble. Clem's in trouble here. He failed to get. You can see how low the tanks are. If they had gone down, that would have been the end of the push. The tanks are so low, but they survived. And Clem's in trouble. Clem's in trouble here. He needs to pick up those tanks. There we go. Gets both. Takes down both tanks, pulls away. And Clem holds. Whew, okay. a very shaky, very messy defense here, but Clem does hold on. Call both tanks. And the game will continue. The game will continue. As that was almost it, by the way. Like that was if Cure was able to maintain that position and reinforce the army and push into the 3rd. Oh. But Clemmy does hold behind this, getting a 4th expansion, going for his own counter drop across the map. Dropping into the mineral line. As the prism is going to go down, but it does get into the main. Zealous into the 3rd. Main army pushing in as well. And we'll see what Clem achieves. He's getting a couple of SCVs, but so far this is not worth it. We're throwing away a lot of Zealots. Yeah, every Zealot is going to go down. That was what, 11 Zealots for 3 SCVs. That was not worth it. Cure, he has momentum, and Cure is pushing. Cure has a lead. And Clem, he is in trouble here. He's slowly building up his Colossus. He has sentries of force fields. Depending on the force fields, he can take this fight, but if we get the better angle, the better concave, then Cure can overwhelm. Blinks in, gets one, gets both Vikings. Okay. Ooh, the mine shots are brutal though. Shut down all the Zealots, but again, there are now 0 Vikings left. Clem getting very adventurous. I don't think we should be here. Yeah, Clem, we should not be here. Clem overextends, and he'll lose both. He'll lose both Colossus. One Colossus goes down, the other barely does get away, but a rough fight here for Clem. Clem just overly aggressive. We saw this earlier as well. Nice run by, though. 7 SCVs. 7 SCVs going down. Zealot warping into the main. But again, we saw it twice. The first time was when Clem blinked on top of the army here when defending against the initial push. And here, of course, overextending with the Colossus. Clem, we gotta calm down. Cell drop was nice. Catching out, what, 14 SCVs in total. So nice counter damage. Sorry, 16 SCVs in total. Curie's forced back. But based on how Curie's been playing, I expect him to be more aggressive. I don't know if you noticed, but Curie, he had a very, very passive demeanor against Creator. Against Creator, we saw that Curie was, for the most part, building up back at home, turtling up, throwing down sensor towers, missile turrets, and getting a fourth base, and taking it slow. But the pace here for Curie is much, much higher against Clem. I would imagine, again, he doesn't want Clem to get comfortable. Like, there's a lot more pressure on Cure to try to end things early and get damage, and he's doing well for himself. He pulls the boys. Jeez, it's 3 base all in. He pulls the boys on 3 bases, but he gets caught out. But again, this goes in line with what we were just saying. Like, Cure's been hyper aggressive this series. He just doesn't want Clem to get up to 4 bases. He doesn't want Clem to macro. And he catches the Colossus. It takes out one more. Massive pickoff. 1 Colossus left. Also does go down. And remember, Cure's all in. Like, he has to end the game with this push. At the same time, we have some solid counterattacks, DT run-bys. The harass doesn't really matter, though. There's nothing at home anyway. And here comes the all-in. Clem is out of position. And there's not much at home. We have 1 Colossus. The base is at least buying time. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Cure's moving in. There's 1 Nova. Nova goes off. It does get no. It gets 1 Marine. Gets 1 Marine. Graves in the army. Robo gets depowered, and Curie's going for the kill. He's going for the kill. Nice catch on these reinforcements. Clem collapsing in. The Colossus, though, is going to go down. There's just so many Vikings. Zeltek cannot engage. This choke point is brutal. Vikings, they land, and Cure, he's breaking through. He's overwhelming the main army here, pushing into the main. And GG gets called. Cure takes game number 3. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As we mentioned, hyper aggression here by Cure, going for these committed 2-base pushes. Even here, pulling the boys on 3 bases, which is quite rare, to be fair. It's quite rare to see these big 3-base all-ins in TVP. But as we mentioned, Cure has been very, very in the face of Clem. This actually reminds me of, if you recall, it was last week that we casted PiGosaur Cup. Was it PiGosaur Cup 66? Or was it What Is Even Monday number like 73? But Cure, he beat Max. He beat Max. And we casted the match like last week. And he was very similar. Very, very similar, where Cure was just hyper aggressive against Max. And we're seeing it here as well against Clem. Let's have a look here. Wikipedia Cure. What was that Max series? I think I remember it was. I think Cure beat Max like in the quarterfinals or semis, and they played against Hero later in the event. What is he running? 73. That's it. 73 is spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline. We have the French Protoss player. We have the French Protoss. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid down in the series, and we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover and force the ace match. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And this is where I'm scared for Clem. This is where the aggression from Cure is going to be even more. It's just going to be stronger. It's going to be stronger. It's going to hit even harder as we load into Tourmaline. Very quickly here, Tourmaline is a very small map, very short rush distance by ground, and also has a very open natural. Has a very, very open natural here. There's no ramp, there's no high ground advantage. It has a massive arc, a massive concave. Likewise, a massive entrance here outside of the bases, and likewise a massive entrance here at the third as well. So like the natural and third base are very accessible, and as a result of that, 2-base all-ins are quite common on Tourmaline from the side of Terran. So we'll see how Clem opens up. To counter that, we have seen a lot of like 4-gate blink on Tourmaline, so we could see 4-gate blink Stalker. I know that Max is very fond of that on this map. The kind of theory there is to be the aggressor instead, to force the Terran back home. force them to be more defensive. As we have a double gas opener out of Cure. Double gas opener. And we'll see if Clem can keep up. We shall see. Cure's in trouble, no fourth. Nah, he was all in, baby, all in. It's crazy. That's right, Twilight Council follow up at a Clem. And again, I'm most curious to see how many gateways, right? Is it going to be 3-gate Blink or 4-gate Blink Stalker? So eyes are on Clem. The other alternative option, I guess, is to go for 2 base into fast Bay into fast Colossus blindly and go for a delayed expansion. If you remember, that's what Creator was doing. The problem is that is a slower start and a slower mid game. And Clem isn't really that kind of player. Like, he likes to be active, he likes to be aggressive, he likes to be in your face with his War Prism harass, with his Blink Stalkers. So I don't really think he's one to go for a Bay before expand. But now, Robo. Robo, we do have 2 gates currently. We should be seeing at least 1 more. Yeah, there we go. 1 more gateway in the main, so 3-gate Blink. Cyclone, I think within range of the pylon. Oh, pulls away. So we have the early Cyclone at a Cure. Medevac is coming, dropping across the map. Secure is going for a singular mine drop. Usually when you go for a singular mine drop like this, it's just all about scouting. Just scouting, figuring out what's going on. Getting a read on Clem. Pokes in, confirms the Twilight Council, pulls away. As he does see all those Stalkers. And we are waiting for that Stim timing. This should be coinciding with around 3 tanks. So 3 tanks, Stim, Medevacs. And CranKy might pull the boys with this as well. CranKy has the option to 2-base all in. That is being active, claims his 3rd. Little mine drop goes in, very patient play by Cure, waiting for this moment. No reaction. Oh! Late reaction, but only 1 probe. Only 1 probe goes down. Clem dropping into the main. Does back in, does pull away. And the upgrades are finishing. Oh! The upgrades are about to finish. Stim is outdone. We can see here that CranKy only went up to 2 tanks, then went for the add-on swap. So it did not work on the 3rd tank. Waiting for the Medevacs. Observer gets caught. It means the Cure can commit here and it won't be scattered. I'm just trying to keep up. And here we go, we pull the boys, 2-base all in. As I mentioned, he did have the option. So the boys are being pulled straight up 2-base all in out of Cure. Again, this does hit harder on Tourmaline, as the army's already halfway across the map and he's almost there. He's almost there at the natural. Back at home, we have safety immortals, so it looks like Clem, he was already preparing for an all-in. He's already got 1, so it'll be 2 immortals. Early Archons, interesting. I mean, that'll help against the SCVs. So yeah, Clem, he was very well prepared for this. It comes down to the execution though. Tanks do siege. Oof. Yeah, tanks they siege up. Man, massive tank volleys. Archons, they get volleys up on the SCVs. We need more zealots. You can see Clem is going for the tanks. He's trying to. Yeah, it doesn't quite get them though. The tanks do survive. Zealots are going down. Curious pushing into the natural. And Clem having a hard time engaging. Does catch some reinforcements at least. But the tanks are safe. Oh no! Can you get one? Oh, barely can. Prism goes down. 2 immortals go down as well. And that might just be it. That is massive loss here for Clem, losing both immortals and the war prism. He was trying to flank the tanks. He was trying to come in from the side. Robo goes down, and that's going to be the final push here. Clem going to try to hold on. Does pull all the boys. The probes are coming in into 2 tanks. Massive tank shots. Good target firing. Yeah, tanks, they focus on the Archons. GG gets called, and Cure will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem, he did have the tools to defend. He did have the early immortals. He had the early Archons as well. And again, he was trying to flank the army. He was trying to come in from behind to get on top of those tanks. But he got spotted, right? He got spotted. So Cure, he peeled off some bio units. And as soon as that prism went down, I mean, that was game. That was game. To lose those 2 immortals was brutal. As that means there's no good answer for those tanks. Ideally, they want to get within range and focus those tanks down. GG, well played. When it comes to the series overall, as I mentioned, hyper aggression out of Cure, 2 base all-ins and 3 base all-ins, like non-stop. Just 2 base all-ins and 3 base all-ins out of Cure. I will say that a pivotal moment was on Winter Madness. That was Clem's game to lose, in the sense that on Winter Madness, these all-ins hit a little bit later, but Clem was thinking too far ahead. If you remember, Clem was getting a 5th, right? I think he was getting a 5th expansion when a 3 base all-in was happening. Like, Clem, he didn't quite recognize how aggressive and how committed Cure was, and that led into a more shaky defense. But there were a couple of really weird moments on Winter Madness. If you remember, where Clem was bleeding out a lot of units early, when he blinked into the tanks and lost his stalkers, when he pushed forward with the Colossus, and he lost Colossus there as well in the follow-up. Like, Clem, he had a very shaky early to mid game, which led into the successful all-in as well. But GG. That was referring to Winter Madness. But GG, well played. With that, Cure, he does claim the series. Does advance on into the next round. Hold on, I have to pay out the predictions. Man, there we go. GG, well played, and we have our first finalist. We have our first finalist here, and let's catch up on the bracket. Oh, Hero, he 3-0'd Percival. That's the Hero. Look at him go. He's as Hero's in the grand finals, we're heading on over to the Korean server. Up next will be the grand finals between Hero and Cure. It's also going to be a best of 5. I'll be honest, I do expect that. Actually, I was going to say I expect to see more of the same out of Cure, like hyper aggression versus Hero. But at the same time, we should be seeing a different dynamic, just because Hero is often hyper aggressive himself. I think one of the important things about Hero is something that we actually mentioned about Clem. If you recall, we spoke about the opener. I think we were loading into, not Tourmaline, I think it was game 2 at the time. I think it was Ruby Rock, but we were theorizing like the different openers that we could see, and we were discussing about how Clem is a little bit more one note when it comes to his builds, when it comes to his opening play, just because he's very fond of Blink Stalkers. Like, we don't often see like Stargate openers or Robo openers out of Clem, and we don't often see like Proxy Stargate or Proxy Gateways early on either. Clem, he's a little more like mid-game oriented and mid to late game oriented, I should say. Meanwhile, Hero is very diverse. Hero, he's very, I mean, he is the most diverse Protoss player, right? Like, more so than Max Packs, more so than Classic. Like, Hero can be very, very chaotic, and that might force Cure to be more defensive in this series instead. Like, he might take a different approach entirely. We'll see. Either Cure, he embraces the chaos and he tries to be as aggressive as Hero in this series, or he takes a more defensive stance instead. We'll see. We'll see how Cure tries to adapt. Let's go. As we're getting ready for those finals. as Vitas are underway. Hero 3-0 Cure. I mean, we've seen Cure beat Hero before. I mean, didn't Cure beat Hero during GSL CK this week? Am I crazy? Or was it Classic? Or was it both? Let's see. Yes, Cure, he beat Hero earlier this week during GSL CK. I do recommend the VODs if you missed it. And Cure, he also beats... Yeah, it was just Hero. He did not beat Classic. So we'll see if Hero can get his revenge. We shall see. Again, if you missed it, we've been casting GSL CK over on Soup, over on the Korean streaming platform. And we did host the rebroadcast yesterday, I believe. Yesterday. For the GSL. Otherwise, it looks like our players, they need a moment. Looks like they do need a break. So we're going to be going on a very short break. When we come back, we'll have the finals. We'll see you soon. See you soon in a couple of moments. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the grand finals. Also, grand finales here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 73, and we have reached our top two. We've reached our Terran and our Protoss, and here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner, bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is a Hero. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets in the chat for who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of five. Coming into this, I would lean towards Hero for sure. Hero, he is the slight favorite player, I would say, but Cure has some killer TVP. And as I mentioned before, Cure did actually defeat Hero a couple days ago in GSL CK. To be fair, that was a best of one. True, that was a best of one, not a best of three or a best of five. But regardless, they have that back and forth. Cure, he has some of the best TVP in the world. I'd say top 3 or top 2 TVP in the world. Is up there alongside Clem, is up there alongside Maru. Here we go. Some players are opening up. So far, single gas open out of Cure going for a faster command center. So economic opener out of our red Terran, likewise Hero opening up standard as well. Now, if you recall, we did theorize Cure's play. If you've been watching Cure tonight, Cure has been adjusting depending on his opponent. If you recall, Cure was very passive against Creator. Cure, he was very kind of like mid to late game oriented. He was a little bit more willing to just slow things down, take a defensive stance, you know, claim a third, claim a fourth base, throw down center towers, and try to embrace the longer and later game. Now, partly also because of Creator's playstyle. Creator was also a little bit more passive as well, being a little more tech heavy, going for fast Colossus and building up a robust robo-based composition in the mid game. So we had a different approach, but against Clem, Cure was hyper aggressive. 2 base all-ins and 3 base all-ins. That's all we saw. That's all we saw out of Cure in the series versus Clem. And here we see more aggression. Economic opener into 3 rack stim. So there's a second, and we should be seeing a 3rd racks momentarily. There it is, 3rd racks. So again, this is a hyper aggressive build. We're building up into early bio, into early stim, into a very strong stim timing. And we'll see if Hero can scout. With the sentry, should be able to. Sentry's on the way, should allow for a hallucination. Hero should see everything, and this should not catch him by surprise. This should not get much damage done. If it goes unscattered, different story, but again, the hallucinations should soon be upon us. See in the chat, is this the finals? Yes, this is the grand finals here. We have our top 2. Hero and Cure. XGA was being thrown down. There's that hallucination. There is a chance that Cure can intercept the hallucination and deny the scout, but there's nothing in position. Right, we have the Marines busy here at the natural in the bunker, so the hallucination will get in. As here he sees everything. He sees all 3 Raxes and Stim. Also confirms there's no faster at CC. Now, bearing in mind, this is not an all-in. There are all-in variations where you do pull the boys, but that's usually off of a Marauder-based start, off of Concussive Shell. So behind this, we should be seeing a follow-up, like Factory, Starport, 3rd CC. That should be the follow-up. It's also important that Cure, he's being... God damn it, Hero. This was a mistake. So Hero, he did accidentally misclick. He fumbled the press and he went for a hallucinated Colossus. This is a delayed scout across the map because he does actually miss the move out. But he does scout the main. True. He does get in. Delayed main base scout. He confirms the factory. Here comes the main bush. He should recognize, hold up, where's the army? The army is not at home, right? So he should recognize that. And Hero is getting ready. Este Hero. Oh, this is him. Yeah, does him in. Does not quite get the sentry. So far, nice timing here with charge. Hero shuts down the push. Oh, Hero, sorry, he went for a charge opener, not blink. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, early charge is designed to shut down these builds. Early tank pushes, early stim pushes, they just completely shut down by these zealots. And Hero holds. It does hold. Has to calm down. If there was like a salvage on the bunker and if there was less of a defensive setup here, then sure, Hero can push in. Sees a bunker, pulls away. Hero does pull away, and with his Hero, he does have a stronger start coming into the mid game. Hero is ahead in workers. He has 3 base saturation, can now look to get a 4th base, and that sim timing fell on its face. Now it's on Hero to confirm that there's an expansion. Technically, there we go, 3rd CC on the way. I was going to say, technically, Cure can turn this into a 2 base all-in, so Hero has to be very careful, but Hero, he just saw the command center. He knows that Cure is expanding. And with that, Hero, he throws down his Bay, building up into Colossus. Cure does push through the center. He's spotted. Hero is aware. Hero did not make any safety immortals. But can he collapse on the army? He's looking to. 3rd base is being taken. And Cure pulls away. So again, this is just a very different dynamic here, where Cure felt the need to take a risk. He was scattered, he was shut down. There we go. Yes, here he is going to be falling back, setting up. Likewise, Cure is also setting up back defensively back at home. We have the army on the way, second eBay, double upgrades. We're building up in towards a longer game. So the game is slowing down. Hero, he's gaining map control. He's setting up proxy locations on the right hand side. Darktron back at home to harass with DTs, building up more Colossus. And this is the kind of game state that Clem never got to, right? Clem, he never got to this. Like, the games were ending too quickly. Like, what's but here he's maintaining map control. He's now able to just build up in towards a longer late game. And this is where Protoss is at their best. Where here is getting a 5th base. And Cure stuck at home. Is stuck at home. Likewise, you do have the 4th CC on the way. So again, like throwing down Sensor Towers, a line of Widow Mines, building up more Vikings. We have this kind of standoff, and now we're maxing out. Now, as Hero is the first player to max out, and because he has a very cheap and very Zeld heavy composition, it's on Hero to trade. The goal here is for Hero to trade against the army, and even if he trades inefficiently, it's fine, because remember, Hero is up in economy. Like, he can afford to throw away Zealots. The goal here should be to ideally trade with Marauders and Ghosts. You can see the Prism drop here towards the natural. Cure does take his 4th base. And Hero should soon move in. As Cure takes his 4th base, he's spreading himself further, like more thin. Spreading himself thin. You see he's spreading out his mines even further as well. This is Hero's moment. Nice EMP. EMP on the Zealots. Prism goes in. Prism is deflected. Nice defense here by Cure. Cure is in position. He's got his 2 turrets. That's one thing. Hero does take an EMP to the face. Colossus is 1 volley away from going down. Up. Oof. Colossus does fall. Rulers of Colossi. Cure is now maxed. Here he has yet to rebuild. 13's also warping in. Okay. Warping in 13's outside of time. Cure vying for map control. Has to be careful. Ghosts are exposed. Uh oh, the ghosts. Yeah, ghosts are gonna go down. Losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ghosts. Ay. A much better fight here for Hero. As the ghosts were exposed. Oof. And Curie's down to 3. From 8 down to 3 ghosts. Curie has to pull back. Hero claiming more bases. Getting a 7th. Getting a 7th expansion. Hands making 2 Colossus at a time. Hoping to distract Cure. It's also being activated. But Cure's ready. He's ready for the Zealot run by. Cure is in position. Here's posturing, throwing down the Stargate. Initially, this should just be Stargate for a Fleet Beacon into Mothership, but this can be the beginning of Skytoss. This can be the beginning. Here is switching to Disruptors, but here he fails to deny the 5th. Does he scout? No. Here he doesn't see the expansion. He needs to stop this planetary. This is a big power spike for Cure. Typically, the Terran player is stuck on 4 bases, and they have to fight so hard to maintain their 4th and to get a 5th. But if this 5th base gets up, Cure, he can build up a bank. Yeah, Liberators have arrived. Cure, he's perfecting his army. Hero tries to rotate. Decent engage. Also Nova. So 2 Disruptors so far. Pulls away. Hero's being kept busy. And seeing the center, yeah, now he knows. Yeah, now he's aware because of the center tower. DTs that get shut down. Yeah, run by is denied. Never goes off. Goes off. Nice catch on the Widow Mines. Meanwhile, we have a decent chunk of Liberators here. So far, 7 8 in total. And this is why typically in a long late game, you're forced into Skytoss. As the Liberator count gets higher and higher, getting up to 11 Liberators. That often does force out Tempest. I mean, you can go one of 2 ways. Either you try to outmaneuver the Liberators with a ground army, or just go head on with Tempest instead. As the Stargate is done, so is the Fleet Beacon, so we have to make a choice. Center base goes down. Here he rotates. Liberators are in position. As you mentioned, here he failed to deny this 5th base. And now he's set up. Now Cure is fully set up here. More planetaries, turrets, sensor towers, Liberators. Hero does rotate. Liberators are late to rotate as well. Late to re-siege. Nah, that's fine. He's fine. Pulls back, re-sieges. Scan into the main. It is really important here that Cure sees if there is a Skytoss transition, as he will need to switch into Vikings. So it's on Cure to keep up to make sure that there's no like 2nd, 3rd, 4th Stargate. He needs to know if and an Hero switching to Tempest. If and when I would say. Oh, nice Nova. Oh, overshoots. Yeah, it does overshoot the Nova. Better connection towards the end. Very nice connections. Novas they pop off. But Liberators, they just bully back the main army. Zealot run by at the same time. 10 SCVs going down. Nice run by. Nice counter attack. As here, he needs to take some gases soon. Is a 10-minute saturate, but again is lacking gases. Here he has no gas bank is what I'm getting at. He's got 5,000 minerals, but no gas. So hopefully he'll take notice soon. If he does want to switch into Skytoss, then he will need more gas. Rotates over. Oof. Expensive rotation, losing a Colossus. It's a lot of freedom. It's a lot of liberation. Zoning him away. Jesus. Yeah, zones away from completely from his own expansion. Base trade? Yeah, base trade. Curie takes down the center expansion. Hero likewise going for the center planetary. And Curie, does he turn around or does he commit? He's doing both. So he commits with his bio army, Liberators are race back home to defend. This planetary will fall. Liberators, they get back to the ramp. Oh, and this is dangerous because what do we see here? Cure, he defends. Cure, he defends. He might lose another planetary, but Cure, he takes down a center base, bottom left, bottom left. There's 3 next side down here, and he's going to get every single one. So expensive losses for Hero. As here, he's losing base after base. Cure, he lost 2 CCs, but he can always replace. Now he has mules. And Hero's in trouble. Is in trouble here. As again, Hero's losing another expansion. That's 4 bases going down for Hero. Hero does lose control of bottom left. In the end, the trade was not worth it. But Hero, he might trade some more bases here. He's rotating towards left-hand side. He gets caught by the main army. Oh, no, get out of here. Oof. Does barely pull away. At the same time, 22 probe kills. The army does get into the natural. 23 probes going down. Hero does race back home, even force a recall. Recalls into the main. And Cure, he's now going for more expansions. Now he knows recall's on cooldown. Hero, he's out of position. Another base is going to be falling. The Liberators will be setting up. Nice, scanning first. Hero turns away. He avoids the main army, going for once again another counterattack. The Liberators, they turn around in time. Oh, some stray Liberators though. Losing 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 free Liberators. And once again, is this worth it? Hero, he'll get 1 expansion. Oh, he will lose the Colossus. Yeah, the army does engage. Nova's going off. Massive connections. Okay, the Novas. Yeah, Novas are solid. Curie's trading. And we commit. Yeah, Curie's committing. He's not turning around. Back at home and Cure defending with a bare minimum. Okay. He should be fine. Okay, turns around. Hero, he can deal with this army. And where exactly are we? So Hero, he's down to 22 probes. He's down to barely any mining whatsoever. But he will catch all these ghosts. There's no escaping. Yeah, Cure overextended. Yeah, he overextended here. That's what, 8 ghosts going down. Oh, the cloak though. Saves 4. Free damage. Up. Okay, down to 2. Down to 2 ghosts. What's important though is that Curie, he has a mining base. He has a mining expansion. Meanwhile, I cannot say the same for Hero. He has 1 mining base here, center left as well. So we're down to a 1 base economy. We've just traded bases to the point where we have a 1 base economy for both players. This does favor Cure as he does get another ghost here into the mineral line. Oof. More probes going down. And I do favor Cure's composition. In a head-on fight at least. We could see Hero try to outmaneuver and come in from behind and come in behind the Liberators or avoid them entirely. When it comes to Hero's bank, he's burned through most of it. Once again, he has a mineral bank, but no, not a lot of gas. Orbital is denied. Oh, that's a kill. We're getting messy. Zealot is coming in. Hero going for the dive. Zealots, they do hit the... Oh, they try to hit the expansion. I feel like they could. There's only one Liberator, but... Hero playing it safe. Let's get caught by the MP. And he commits. Mothership comes in, he's got a cloak, but a massive scan. Zealots are trying to break through. Disruptors a rally into the army. That does miss any chance for Novas. Every Disruptor goes down. Hero is down to a handful of remaining units here. The Mothership trying to get away, but the Mothership's going to be hunted down. Now he cannot escape. He loses it. The Mothership falls. And Kira looking to take a lead in the series. Looking to start this off here, the finals off with that 1-0 advantage. As Hero, he barely has a standing army, down to one Colossus, a handful of Stalkers. And Kira overwhelms. He overwhelms. He's forced to turn around, okay. Forced to turn around with half his army. Hero buying time. Kills an orbital. Oh, but Curie doesn't turn around with everything though. He finds another mineral line. Nice catch here out of Cure. Ensuring that Hero has no economy. The probes do survive, and Hero does have one base here, but only 2 patches. He's broke. Hero's broke. He has nothing left. Ah, no. Here we go. The main army is activated. Cure, he wants to surround. So he kites away. Oh, he may lose both medevacs here. Yeah, there's no lifting. There's no lifting. But the army comes from behind, catching out the Colossus. Colossus goes down. Stalker's Blink is on cooldown. And the splits, very nice splits. And here we go, the final army. GG gets called, and Cure takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Curie takes the lead in the series. Again, a very intense back and forth here between Cure and Hero. Very intense, very back and forth. As we mentioned, initially Hero, he was able to gain map control, but there was a moment where we made the decision to base trade. If you remember, it was the moment when Hero pushed in towards the right-hand side. He killed 2 CCs. He killed 2 planetaries, technically. 2 planetaries and like 1 base worth of mineral line, or 1 mineral line worth of base. But he lost 4 next side. If you remember, he lost center left and then all of bottom left. 4 Nexus went down for only 2 planetaries. Like, it was not worth it there, the worthwhile trade for Hero. That's when the ball started rolling, and that's when Cure started gaining momentum. After that moment, he then rotated towards the top side, dropped into the main base, distracted Hero, and Cure was out positioning Hero and just knocking down base after base after base. GG. GG, well played. Curie does take game number 1. A very long, very intense game 1, and we'll see if Hero can recover and bounce back. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. The red Terran player himself, the South Korean Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. Again, a very intense game 1 here. Did go the distance, but as we mentioned, Cure, he did gain momentum once he knocked down those initial 4 bases. Like, that's when Cure took control of the game, and Hero never quite recovered from that moment. From losing control. Where do we go? Now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be a much smaller map, going to be loading into Ruby Rock. As a result, we do expect to see more aggression out of Cure this time. We'll see. Okay, let's lock in. Whew, but here we go. We're getting into our next game. Double gas. Okay, double gas open out of Cure. Cure is going for a more tech-heavy start early on here on Ruby Rock. Is opening a more tech-heavy. And we'll see how Hero adjusts. We spoke about it earlier, but Hero, he can be very diverse. He isn't locked into just purely Twilight Council play. But on a map like this, we expect to see a safer build out of Hero. Expect something safer. So now we do have our standard openers. Reaper does move out across the map. We do have our reactor follow-up here, not Tech Lab, so going to reactor to Hellion most likely, if not reactor to Reaper Hellion, also an option. So we have that faster starport. This can lead into early drop play. With the Widowmine follow-up, looks like it is going to be an early drop. There's no add-on swap. No add-on swap. Widowmine into medevac. Into harass. Likewise, Cure is not all in. There's that CC. We'll be expanding. We have the tech of choice from Hero, going for his own Twilight Council opener, setting up defensively here on the low ground. Already an early shield battery, so very safe play at a Hero. He did see the early gases, so he knows. They're playing very safe. And he's ready for like a Hellion dive. Hallucination does move out. Likewise, here comes the Mind Drop, making its way across the map, and it's going to be Mind Drop into Cloak Banshee. Unfortunately, it will be scouted, yeah, as the Hallucination sees everything, confirming the Tech Lab and the research on that starport. So here he rescouts, he's fully aware. There's a high chance we might see Cure cancel. He might cancel that Cloak. Mind Drop into the main, a reaction. Late reaction at a Hero. Oh my god, very messy defense. 3 probes going down. That could have been worse. That could have been a lot worse here. But both would have might survive. Again, Hero, he was not paying attention. He was not in position. In the end, he was caught off guard. It isn't just about Cure killing probes, it's about Cure keeping the drop alive. So we can always go back in for another drop. Likewise, this is tying up supply for Hero. Cure settling in. Settling in. He's got his first Banshee, is setting up to eventually move out across the map. Hallucination confirms that Cloak was not cancelled. True. So nice rescat out of Hero. He knows. As a result, how many observers do we have? One. One observer in the main. Should be seeing another momentarily. Oh, actually, we're going for a move out at the same time. Okay, so we have a Mind Drop threatening the main base. Meanwhile, I believe there's 2 Banshees. Yeah, 2 Banshees with the main army. Cure does move out. He opts not to pull the boys, but still very committed. Mind Drop comes in. Once again, a delayed reaction and catching up 2 more probes. And 4 in total. Meanwhile, the Cyber Core is under threat. Blink is done. And Hero, can he dive on those tanks? It's going to be difficult. There's the scan. We have 2 Immortals. We have 1 Archon. Cyber Core goes down. And Hero's breaking out. Oh, not able to. Yeah, he was hoping he would catch the on siege. Manages to get into the main base. Heroes being torn apart. Losing 5, 6, almost 7 probes. There's no detection. There's no observer. We could have kept going. Like, the recall did not recall the observer. Yeah, the observer was late. These banshees, they could have kept popping off. I mean, they still will. Jeez. And this is critical damage. This is critical damage here. 11, 12 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. No mining at the third. Cure. The other scary thing about what just happened is not just 12 probe kills. Cure gets back home with the tanks. Like, these tanks, they should have died. Like, it's very rare to see them push and then make it back home as well. So Cure, he has a stronger army. Here, he feels the need to counterattack, but he doesn't have the army to actually do so. And no fear. No fear out of Cure at the same time as he defends. Goes for his own double drop. Hero's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. He's, again, down in economy, worse than what it should be. Storm is on the way, and Storm has potential. Like, we could see a Storm drop, for example. Damage can be done across the map. As more probes are going down. Oh, God. Losing another 6 probes. Thankfully, does shut down both Banshees, but they pay for themselves. They did pay for themselves. Drop into the main. Catching up more workers, more damage. No shot, he gets that Nexus. He wants it. He's crazy. Yeah, he's going for the expansion. Storm does land, and looks like he will get the Nexus. No shot, barely does. It's going to cost him everything, though. A very expensive trade. Does get the expand. He could have gotten 9 probes and gone out of there. But no, he went harder. Hero supply blocked. And again, Cure's ahead. Like, he was already ahead. Losing that drop is brutal. That's true when it comes to the size of the army, but Hero supply blocked, so he can't get any larger than this. Hero is forced into the counterattack. And can Cure survive? As Hero's pretty all in. The Storm. Okay, there's 2 Templar in the Prism. There's 4 Templar in total. Storm is a factor, of course. Nice tank positioning. The first tank goes down. Time to drop into the main. Oh, EMP lands, only 1 Storm. Yeah, Storm takes down the second tank. Blinks into the main base. Cure in an awkward position. Yeah, an awkward defense out of Cure. At the same time, going for the counterattack, which is quite greedy, but he gets in. Probes are falling. Again, Hero's all in. He has to end the game with this push. No bunkers. Wow, no bunkers on the low ground either. Yeah, very messy defense here, but again, across the map, 7 probes go down. Did he lose a prism? There's no prism. No shot. The war prism got sniped. There's nothing to reinforce. Hero's forced back home. There's nothing at home. There's nothing here. No. And Cure defends. Yeah, Cure defends, just getting further ahead. Yeah, I remember here he never rebuilt the net. Sorry that he never rebuilt the main. He couldn't afford to. That Hero was all in. He still is. And the longer this goes on, the better and better it is for Cure. It is risky for Cure not to set up defensively with bunkers and not to get ready for the push. It is greedy. So Cure is being greedy, and that can be punished. There's still a chance with all these Storms. At the same time, though, there's counterplay available with EMPs. How many had Templar? 5. There's 5 Templar in total. Heroes moving in. Do the EMPs land? Jeez. There's first Storm. There's the first Storm. We have at least 4 more left. Ooh, Mind Shot takes down the Archon. Storm does zone away. Zones with the army. Oh, we morph in Archons with some fresh high Templar there, so no Storms. Yeah, no Storms. The army gets cleaned up, and with that, Cure holds. Yeah, Cure holds on. Shuts down the Immortal, shuts down the Archons. We have high Templar trickling in. The EMP lands. And GG gets called Cure. He takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played again, Cure. He was just pulling Hero apart. We were referring to the push on the right hand side put towards the main base. Was able to get on top of the cyber core. Wouldn't mind dropping to the main base. Banshee harass was crazy as well. The Banshees on their own, they were enough to give Cure a lead, but then he confirmed and secured that lead with the follow-up drop into the main base. I was a little bit concerned about going for the main, but he was able to get the Nexus. Forced a 2-base all in, and Cure, he did barely have enough at home to defend. Barely had enough. GG, well played. Cure, he's up 2-0 and 1 game away from claiming the series. Uno más. Whew. As we are loading into a brand new TLMC map, going to be loading into Washouts. I say brand new. This was a map in the previous Team Liquid map contest. But let's go. Here we go. Juggernaut. Yeah, it was a rough start for Hero. If you remember, Hero, he had a shaky defense against the Woodmine drop, which actually forced units to be at home to defend. It allowed for the push to move out unscathed and unscouted and actually get within range of the Cybercore, if you recall. Like, it all just kind of played into each other here, and Cure just snowballed out of control. But here we go. We're getting into game number 3, potentially the final game of the series. I hope not. I hope we have a back and forth and we get a game 4 and a game 5. That's what I want out of this series, but the pressure is on our Protoss player. Spawning in the right hand corner of Washouts, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Yeah, Cure looking like a beast. I mean, hey, he took down the best Protoss in Europe earlier in Clem. Now he's here to take down Hero as well. Crazy. For now, double gas. Once again, double gas open out of Cure, going for a faster factory, going for a more tech-heavy start. But welcome on all to Washouts. Washouts is, again, it's an upcoming map that's going to be available in the TLMC, which of course we have potential to vote on. When I say vote on, I mean to kind of like sift through and make it through. It's going to be one of the submissions for TLMC, I should say. When it comes to Washouts, it does have some unique features. The center of the map here is, sorry, winding it back. When it comes to the natural has a relatively moderate opening here. We do have a nice choke point outside of the natural. This is typically where you want to make a stand to stop any kind of pushes and to slow down something like an all-in, is to engage here further out in front of the natural. Likewise, the third base location is relatively secure. We have the fourth base, which is a little bit more open, of course, and has the hybrid bases with those gold patches. There's a lot of expansions with gold patches. I believe there's like 6. Yeah, we have these 3 bases on the bottom right, and of course 3 bases top left as well. So a lot of hybrid bases are available here. But I'll be honest, we have never seen a game last that long on this map. Often we do see shorter games on Washouts. I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually expand and take advantage of these bases. We haven't gotten any late game on this map yet, but this, I mean, it could be here and now. So now we have our Twilight Council opener out of Hero. Going for the Council. Likewise, our standard follow-up here. Remember, it was double gas, faster factory, faster starport. Going for the early Cyclone this time. Okay. Early Cyclone, not early Mines. Reaper gets into the main, confirms the Twilight Council. Secure, he knows that there's no like proxy Stargate or Stargate opener, Robo opener. Should be 3-gate blink. As Hero does throw down extra gateways. So again, it's going 3. He's going 3-gate blink Stalker into the Robo. From here, he might even go for a Bay before expanding, but otherwise he should be taking a 3rd. Ooh, Cure's committing. Jesus. Cure, he's going for the early 1-1-1 into medevac drop across the map. This is borderline all in. Borderline all in. So basically he's waiting for the drop, waiting for the tank to drop across the map and reinforcing with Vikings. This is hyper aggressive. Clem is very fond of this build. Maru is very fond of this build as well. Basically the Viking is designed to reinforce to add extra DPS. Landed Viking does do a decent chunk of damage to armored units, specifically Stalkers. So we're just rallying everything across the map. The mass rally. Kira's being hyper aggressive. Back at him, there's no battery. Yeah, there's no shield battery. And he wants to get within range of the pylon. Can he get within range? He can. Going for the dive. Can he get the tank? Yes, Stalkers. They get one more volley if the tank does barely go down. But the Stalkers, they get punished. There's 4 Stalkers left. Lock on here on the army. Losing another Stalker. Down to 3. 3 Stalkers. Oh my god. Barely Blink finishes. Blink does finish. Viking lands. 4 Stalkers left. He has to fight for the pylon. He has to fight for it. As boys are being pulled, Hero getting desperate, and Hero, he barely does hold. Whew, okay. Yeah, Hero's got plenty of Blink Stalkers. He can blink away. He can shut this down. Again, if this pylon had fallen, that would have been game. Like, the pylon would have depowered 2 gateways and would have depowered the Robo. But Hero, he defended long enough to get his Immortal, and Hero holds. Oh, Hero getting a little bit ambitious. Bleeding out a couple of Stalkers, but does get the tank. Yeah, tank goes down. The Viking as well. Again, the power of the Immortal. And this was very committed here from Kira. As you mentioned, it's like a borderline all-in. For Kira to lose all those units and to fail to break the natural here, I mean, Kira, things looking dire. The word count is low. Throws down 2 more axes. Now, because of the failed push, there's a very high chance that Kira turns this into a 2-base all-in, right? Like, it would make sense. Meanwhile, look at Hero. Hero, he should be expanding. He delays the expansion for a gateway explosion and for a dark shrine. I do think it's quite smart, considering that, again, there's a low chance that Kira macros. Diving on the tank. Tank goes down, and Hero's here to make a series out of it. He's here to bring us to the next game, to game number 4. Diving on the final tank. Tank is going to go down, warping into the main base. The boys are being pulled, and Hero, he cannot be dealt with. GG gets called. Hero fights back, puts a point on the board. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Hero, he does fight back. Again, Kira was hyper committed to his push, and again, he barely failed to break that pylon. He barely failed to break that natural. Once he did fail, though, GG. GG well played, as Hero could then counterattack, get further ahead, throw down more gateways, and take advantage of the lack of anything that Kira had remaining. GG. GG well played. So it's not going to be 3-0. Not a 3-0 here. We have a bit of a back and forth. Hero, he has begun the comeback. And do we make it to the ace match? Personally, regardless of how this goes, I would love to see a game 5, but the pressure is still on Hero. Pressure is still on. And I'm just curious to see what's the next map. We do have a couple of unique maps in the map pool, but it's going to be Taito Citadel. Okay. We're loading into Taito. Oh, this can be a very chaotic map. Again, the bases are very spread out. They're very spread out on Taito. So being the defending player in a PvT can be quite difficult here. Can be quite difficult. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Taito Citadel, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss fighting back, putting a point on the board, and looking to make a series out of this. Can he force the ace match? Representing T1, it is Hero. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1 and 1 game away from becoming our champion. It is Kior. Hello. As Kior does send out his first SCV, and Kior is setting up for an eBay block. Ooh, does Hero scout the worker though? Ah, barely not. Yeah, Hero is going for the regular scouting path. Meanwhile, Cure comes in from behind, and Cure is coming in for said engineering bay. And the goal is to force the unnatural. Natural is to disrupt the early game for Hero. Is that eBay? Ooh, it's going to be a late scout. It's going to be a late scout, a late realization. Hero, he'll be forced to expand either at the triangular third or the linear third base. There's no good option. Yeah, he knows. Yeah, the base halfway done. Cure, he's on patrol here at the triangular third, and he's forcing the linear third base out of Hero. So the unnatural, natural. This tells me that Hero is going to have a very shaky early game. We can see as well that Cure, he's going for a delayed cancel, which means he's going for a faster factory, which means potentially reactor into add-on swap into reactor to Hellion. Yep, there it is. There's a reactor. So this is for a very heavy Hellion count early on. Remember, it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe, and very often you have 4, maybe up to 6 Hellions. And the other issue here for Hero, of course, is that it's a defensive setup, right? He has to defend 2 locations at once, and they're very spread apart. They're very spread out, very spread apart. So Cure has the advantage. Not saying that Hero can't defend. He can. Like, it is possible. It's just difficult. It's more difficult to defend than it is to attack in this kind of position. Oh, Stargates. Okay, okay. If you remember, we spoke about this at the beginning of the series. Hero, he is willing to mix things up and go for a Robo or Stargate instead of Twilight Council. So Stargate open out of Hero. Now, Stargate play is very common in this position. What do I mean by that? Because the terrain is so awkward and rotating back and forth is so awkward, an easier way to defend if you're forced to expand in this kind of position is to open up Stargate into Phoenixes, because your air units, whether it's Phoenix or Oracle, they don't care about ground terrain. They move back and forth quite freely between your bases. So there's a common way to defend here when you're forced into this awkward position. The downside, of course, is that Stargate openers and Stargate play, what they are vulnerable to is 2-base all-ins. Like 2-base all-ins, they hit very, very hard, and they will often kill like Stargate Phoenix players. So that's going to be an option for Cure. As Cure, he moves out, he's got his 4 Hellions. And with these Hellions, he can deal damage, but also scout what the tech is. Was it Twilight Council or not? Is it Stargate? It's on these Hellions to find out. So far, the probe is in position to fully wall off. Hero, does he react in time? He should. Yeah, it does react. Gets 1 probe. The Phoenixes are revealed. So far, solid defense. Ooh, 1 Hellion goes down. And now he's down to 2 Hellions. He can only 2 shots. And even then, the battery's in place. Nice defense out of Hero. Oof. Yeah, very nice defense. As the Hellions don't get much done. More Phoenixes amassing. Curious stuck at home building up his Cyclone counts. Building up his Vikings. And the next big question becomes, does Cure go for a 2-base all-in? Does Cure all-in? Does he have a starport? He does. Okay. Yes, from here we're building up. We do see, of course, here we're trying to build up in towards the mid game. You have the Bay on the way, Colossus, Phoenix Colossus, very old school build and old school style here by Hero. And Cure, it looks like we're building up into a macro game. What I'm looking at here is the eBay, right? The eBay tells us that we're at least waiting until +1. So +1 has begun. Getting to stim, combat shields. Cure, he's at least looking for that +1 timing. Ooh, my shot goes off. Brutal connection. As So you're trying to keep Cure at bay. First Colossus is in production. And ideally, if there is a move out, Hero wants to see it, right? He needs to scout the move out with these Phoenixes and slow it down. Or scout any drop play. Curious committing. Here we go. He pulls the boys. Yeah, 2 base all in. 2 base all in at a Cure. It looks like +1 will finish halfway or during the fight. So we'll finish during the fight instead. Now, what's important is the Observer. The Observer saw everything. He knows. Here, he knows the all-in is coming. And bam, we have 2 batteries being thrown down as we speak. Colossus in production. Sorry, the Colossus is already in position. Catching out 2 Widow Mines. Nice catch here with these Phoenixes. And the all-in's being slowed down. The all-in's being delayed here. Catching more reinforcements, more Marines, more Marauders. Batteries are done. Hero's ready. He's ready for the all-in. Oh, and Curie goes to the sim. It does sim forward, trying to break through the Colossus. Takes down the Zealots, but he doesn't have enough. Yeah, he does not have enough. These batteries, they put in so much work. Now there's a second Colossi, and Hero, he's here to force the ace match. Whew. As again, Curie's being forced further and further back. He has no standing army. The lasers, baby, they're too good. GG gets called, and Hero does have the series. We're going all the way to game number 5. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, we're going to the ace match here. When it came to Cure's build, unfortunately, he was seen ahead of time. We saw that the Observer was in position to spot the boys being pulled. So Hero, he had the time he needed to, of course, set up his batteries back at home. 2 batteries, get his Colossus in position, get his army in position. And he was looking very secure at the 3rd. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're going all the way to game number 5. Again, Cure, he had a very strong start to the series, but we've seen non-stop aggression out of Cure these last 2 games, and it has failed. Do we calm things down as we load into a very quirky map? Up next, loading into Lumen. Oh boy. Again, they were trying to avoid some of the other non-standard maps, and there's a lot to get into here. Echoes of Talisman. And this morning in the top left-hand corner of Lumen, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss fighting back from the brink. He was down 2-0, by the way. He was down 2-0, and he has brought us all the way back to the ace match. Can he pull off the reverse sweep? Representing T1, it is a Hero. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. So someone in the chat who I checked their history, they do nothing but balance wine in our chat. Ah. SMH. As for now, we do have Lumen. Lumen is an interesting map in the map pool. Again, does have echoes of Talisman. If you remember, Talisman was very similar, where we have a hybrid base option as the natural. Basically, as you load into this map, there are 2 options here. You can take the standard natural, or you can take the hybrid expansion instead. Likewise, we do have a mineral worker path to get down into that hybrid expansion. And also, we do have, I believe these patches are 50 minerals. We'll have to double check. 80. Okay. We have 80 mineral patches in the center, which you can very quickly mine through and eventually break down into that low ground. We can see that Hero does take the standard expansion, and so should Cure. Cure back at home going double gas. Okay, double gas to open it into a faster factory. This time there is no eBay block from the side of the Terran. When it comes to some of the other features, what do we see here? We have a pretty exposed 3rd. I say exposed. The area here in between the natural and the 3rd base can be abused because there are 2 entrances, right? There are 2 entrances, there are 2 different ramps. It's a very wide open area here that you can make use of. I would say, though, to be fair, it's very awkward to attack from the bottom side. I think overall your 3-base setup is decent. Getting a 4th is much more difficult, of course, as your 4th base options are very limited. They're all on the low ground. So low ground fourth bases. We have high yield gas here, but again, a very exposed expansion to the ramps, just to the high ground. Bottom left is probably more secure, but even then you spread yourself thin. It might even be wise to take the hybrid base as the fourth. That might be the go-to. It's hard to say, we haven't seen too many games on this map. Haven't seen too much. Meanwhile, it's going to be Reactive Reaper Hellion for the first time this series. For the first time. Mind putting up a prediction? I believe predictions were already open, right? Yeah. Hans, you missed the predictions, Bappy. They were already open. It's currently 95% in favor of Hero. Yeah, it's all good. It's 95% in favor of Hero, 5% for Cure. Oh. As Cure does dive in, breaks down the first Stalker. He gets, there's no battery. Yeah, there's no shield battery. Boys are being pulled, and this is getting out of hand. This is already getting out of hand here as we're losing 3, 4, 5 pros. Critical damage. A rough start for Hero, as he had no defensive setup. And we're still not done. We're going to get up to 7, up to 8 probes. I'm assuming up to 8. We'll see. Does pivot back around. There we go. 8 probes do fall. Hero will clean this up, but this was worth it for Cure. And again, Hero, he had no battery here. He had no sentry. He had no units to wall this area off. And Cure, he does start things off with the lead. Behind this, oh, I assume that Cure would be expanding at the more standard location, but no, he's going for the gold. Even just mining from the high ground, which he doesn't need to, by the way. But sure. Mining from the high grounds. He's almost broken through. Yeah, one more volley. One more wave. At the same time, here he has 3 gates. Okay, so 3 gate blink. It up shades into the mineral line. Stalkers, they push towards the natural. And we'll see what Hero can get done. Toss back in. Gets 1, 2, 4 Marines. 5? 4. Okay, 4 Marines go down. Catching up 4 Marines, catching out a depot. Nice damage. Oof. Tanks are within range. Hero forced to pivot. Zero rotates over, and hey, he does punish the mineral line. Okay. 2 more SCVs. 3 more SCVs. 4 more SCV. 5 more. Yo, Kira, we gotta sit up on the low ground, pappy. Oof. Yeah, 6 SCVs do. 7 SCVs do full. This is not getting out of hand. Again, Curious has yet to move down. And Hero rotates once again. Depot was not rebuilt. Oof. Jesus. Yeah, Depot wasn't rebuilt, so there's no pickups here. Hero transitioning in towards Charge. Charge on the way. Temple Archives into Storm. Interesting. Storm follow-up. No third base yet for Hero. Staying on 2 bases, which is fine against a 1-basing Terran. Diving on the first tank. Nice pick up, getting 1, getting 2. The Marines are stuck behind this. Yeah, they're trying to move in. That's 2 tanks falling. And despite the strong start out of Cure, remember, Cure, he killed so many probes at the start of the game. But he's been struggling to expand, and he just pulls the boys. Yeah, we're just pulling the boys. We're just going for the all-in. Rallying everything across the map. Either Cure kills Hero or dies trying. Now, this will hit pre-Storm. The Storm will not be a factor. Not factor in. So because they catch 2 more Marines. Nice pick up here on the reinforcements. Tank's not getting within range of the natural. Charge is done in 2 seconds. But nice strike point. Throws down the bunker. You can see here Kyrgyz walling up, making it difficult to engage. Depowers the robo. Here is supply blocked. He's gonna go. Can he get on top of the tanks? Oh, the prism goes down. Yeah, massive pick off. The prism does fall. Tank boy is going up for the stalkers, and Kira, does he barely have enough here? The tanks are tanking. There's 1 tank remaining, and barely is going to go down, but there's still Marines left over. The bunkers, the bunkers are done. No shot. No shot. It's Kira. He's done it. Kira, he has broken the natural base. He takes over the natural, depowered the robo. Bunkers did finish. Gets within range of the Nexus, and the Nexus will fall. Yeah, here he cannot hold on. It was close. It was so close. Such a close defense. I mean, it was a big moment when Kira sniped the prism. The Immortal was inside. He sniped the prism. Protected those tanks. Gets into the mineral line. We have 1 Archon waddling in. 1 Archon, 3 Zealots. Again, barely an army. And it was almost a 3-0. Yeah, shout out to Hero for forcing the ace match and bringing us all the way to game number 5. He brought us to the ace match. But here, Cure, he was able to be hyper aggressive. He had a shaky, I mean, it was back and forth, right? Like, Cure, he was able to deal with critical damage early on with his Reaper Hellion. At the same time, he was bleeding out his CVs. But he just had enough, sent it across the map. He sent it back. Archon's just trying to hold on. And massive tank flows on the Zealots. And remember, Cure, he has a CC, by the way. Like, he actually has mining. He actually has mining going on. It's like a 1.5 base all in. And with that, the final push if a Hero tries to break down the ram. GG gets called, and Cure will claim the series 3-2, becoming this week's PiGosaur Cup numbered 73 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Cure. He will claim the series. Again, a very intense, very back and forth between both Cure and Hero. Cure was hyper aggressive, hyper committed. We still did see some late game between Cure and Hero. It was sprinkled into the series, of course, especially game number 1, despite the early game, despite the beginning, despite the intentions out of Cure. But GG, well played. Here in this final game, Hero, he did sustain a lot of damage to the Reaper Hellion. If you recall, he lost 8 probes early on, so it was a very, very rough start for Hero. He fell behind. He was pressured to counterattack, and he was able to find some damage. He picked off 4 Marines, he picked off a depot, and he got, what was it, like 7 SCV kills. So he did some nice counter damage. But the problem was that we saw the we saw the all-in as a response. And it wasn't just that, but it was like a boosted, like 1.5 base all-in, as because of the layout, of course, that CC on the high ground was still actually mining. Was still providing a little bit more to be able to reinforce harder across the map. Likewise, when it came to Hero's defense, it was a little bit lackluster. Remember, how did the defense begin? He lost the War Prism. He lost the Prism immediately, and he also lost his Immortal Insider as well. So he lost two big units before the defense even really began, and that meant that Hero could not hold. He could not defend. He was able to reset the tank out, but he lost everything in the process. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Cure for claiming the series. Congratulations, Este Cure. GG. Yeah, there it is. Predictions. Again, it was 5% in favor of Cure. But GG, well played. Again, Cure, he did beat Hero earlier in the week in the GSL, and now he takes him down here in PiGosaur Cup as well. GG, well played. Congratulations. But again, Cure, he has some of the best TVP in the world. Like, I still say he's like top 2 or top 3 TVP alongside Clem and alongside Maru. Cure is up there, and again takes down Hero and Clem. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the morning. Going to be wrapping up very quickly. Let's catch up on the rest of the schedule for the week. As you can see, we're here Wednesday morning. As you can see, we did live cast GSL on Monday, and we had the rebroadcast yesterday. That's why Technically, Tuesday wasn't empty. We had the GSL recast or rebroadcast Tuesday morning. If you missed it, I do recommend the VODs because we had a lot of fun with the GSL CK. It was a lot of fun. Was very, very hype. Meanwhile, later on tonight, we have Kung Fu Cup. Tomorrow, we have the OSC Elite Rising Star. We have the Podcast, Kofa Giants Cup, KSL, and RSL over the weekend. Busy week here on the CranKy Ducklings. Now, I'm still very tentative on Kung Fu Cup tonight. Kung Fu Cup is later on this evening. But I've been very fatigued, and it's going to start very late. It starts very, very late. It starts at 8 p.m. KST. That is 10 p.m. AEST. And it's usually like a 4 to 5 hour cast. Kung Fu Cup is similar to this cast, where I believe the semifinals are best of 5s. I'll have to double check, but the difference is that they hold matches. And if you notice, but for this tournament, for this cast, we actually, both semifinals happen at the same time, right? Both semis, they occurred at the same time, and that speeds up the broadcast as a result. Meanwhile, for Kung Fu Cup, they usually hold the semis and they cast it one after the other, so that does kind of make it a bit of a longer broadcast as a result of that. A little bit longer, a little bit more intense. And typically Kung Fu Cup has a massive bracket as well, so I'm on the fence on casting Kung Fu Cup tonight. It is the return of Kung Fu Cup, like it's a big momentous occasion, so there's like, and that's, we'll see. I'm torn. I guess it depends on how we feel as well, because I'm working off a very little sleep at the moment. I'm probably gonna have a nap, and if I feel good, then we might cast anyway. We'll see. Right now there's 45 signups to Kung Fu Cup. Jesus. Has a massive list of signups here. I mean, there's a lot of really good players tonight, right? There's Zaun, Nightmare, Solar, Shin, Ryung, Percival, Showtime, SOS, Hero. Who else do we see? Probably Clement, Max. Like, it's a massive bracket. Lambert's playing tonight as well. Like, it's a big bracket. Classic. Cure, of course. PiGosaur Cup champion, also playing tonight. So, we'll see. On the fence. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. If you want to support us further, you can do so via socials, !socials in the chat. We do live stream on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and Soup and everywhere, and Kick as well. Like, we're all over the place when it comes to the CranKy Ducklings, so you can help follow us and support us and watch us where you please. VODs are available instantly over on YouTube. If you missed out on GSL this week, bam, VODs are on YouTube. They're all there. VODs are under the live tab on YouTube, so do check out those VODs over on our YouTube channel. Likewise, you can support us via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments. We do host events like Sparkling Tuna Cup, Sea Duckling Open, and Masters One Open, all on a regular basis. We host plenty of tournaments, so if you want to help support the scene and support the players, you can do so via Patreon. As you can see, typically we have Tuna Cup on Sundays, and there's no Tuna Cup this weekend. We have rescheduled to Tuesday, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday should be Tuna Cup. The reasoning for this is because of RSL. Right, RSL is clashing with Tuna Cup, so we don't want to. Obviously, we're casting RSL, so we're going to be casting RSL. We're going to be rescheduling Tuna Cup. It will still be happening, but on next Tuesday. Just as a heads up. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support, and we'll see you guys potentially later on tonight or tomorrow. Again, still a little bit on the fence about tonight's broadcast. We'll see how we feel. I'm gonna try to sleep as much as I can. I'll try to sleep, Abby. I'll try to sleep. But see you next time. Ciao, bye, ciao. Hasta luego. And congratulations, of course, to Cure. Congratulations.